but they like it. Him and his brother both really enjoyed the butterfly. So, and we're really pretty good at it too. So. But he does other stuff as well. So they're trying to get him to do the breaststroke because it's one of the strokes that not many people do. And the one on the team that is pretty good at it and actually placed really, really well this year is a senior, and he's leaving. So, hey, there's you can get the video link. All right, hold on a second. There you go. There you go, Eric. So he's leaving. So they're looking at Jonas maybe to sort of slip into his position as being the butterfly and breaststroke guy rather than the butterfly and freestyle, because they have good freestyle guys.
How does he feel about that? Is he excited about it?
Yeah, no, it's a non-starter right now, but I have a feeling the coach is going to work on him.
Yeah, that's what they do.
He'll get there.
Place in state though, they must have some really good swimmers.
We did, yeah. And it was kind of a blowout too. So it was, they won by 70 points, and only 35 of those were from the diving team. So yeah, they would have. They had it pretty much locked up by about the third to last event. Just from a math standpoint, so not as exciting as close as it was last year, but certainly it's nice to win state. So.
Congratulations!
Thanks, Eric. Good to see you, bud.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. Sorry that I'm late.
Let's be very proud. Let's tell her congrats.
She is, and I will. Yeah, we're really pleased. So, but tomorrow he starts with his next team, and. So we're actually going to Carbondale this weekend for the A-level championships for his new other team, his new year-round team. So which he starts.
None of your old shenanigans, Les. Just because you're going to Carbondale. Just
yeah, I know. I'm going late. They're going Thursday night. I don't get back from California, so I'm leaving for California in the morning, and I'm staying all week. I won't get back from LA until after midnight Friday night, and then I'm going to get a couple hours sleep, and then I'm going to drive down there and meet him Saturday for the Saturday events. So,
wow.
So I won't even have time for my usual Carbondale related shenanigans, like getting kicked out of college and smoking weed with all the other potheads, 1980s level potheads.
Of all the stories I've heard, those two aren't one of the two I've heard.
Really? You didn't know I got kicked out of Carbondale?
No, I did not.
Well, now you know.
It's the reason that we wrote all the laws that nobody can party out there anymore.
It takes a lot of finesse to get kicked out of Carbondale back in the day. Seriously.
I took it to 11, so I wasn't ready for college my first year of college. So I took it as an opportunity to party as hard as I possibly could, which I did pretty well. But it wasn't really conducive to school and
This makes so much sense that you and Gordo were buddies back then, because Gordo didn't do so well the first year either.
Yeah, it happens. We were late. I was late bloomer.
Oh, when did I meet you, Les? It wasn't freshman year, I know.
No, it couldn't have been, because I didn't move down here until after I'd already gotten kicked out. So it would have had
I might have met you in Carbondale. I went down there with Tom Trout and.
Oh, did you? Okay, you met. Yeah, maybe we ran into each other first there.
Yeah. You were part of each other's demise in some.
I don't remember anymore, though. I just remember you having that hot rod car and being a little crazy, which fit me just fine.
Oh boy. Okay.
A turquoise blue Firebird with T-tops.
Rock on.
My first car. I love that car. Crashed it a lot.
Yellow 67 Camaro. What about the rest of you guys?
Ooh, 67. Wow.
Oh, that was sweet. Yeah. That was sweet.
I always remember Trout's. What was Trout's? He had a Firebird or something. It was just like.
He had a Trans Am. Yeah, that dark blue Trans Am.
Yeah, that thing was.
Oh, not 67, 76. I had the numbers reversed. It was
76. All right, still
a lot of fun. Yeah.
What about you, Mike? What was your first car?
My first car?
Yeah.
Was it was a Buick LeSabre. It was a big old boat.
Nice, a Buick.
But it did have a 350 in it, so I was kind of cool with that.
All right. Like the old Grand Nationals, those old Buicks that they used to make.
You could take a curb and not feel it in that.
Yep.
Pretty much.
What about you, Eric?
Oh, I had my grandparents in some sort of shady deal bought my stepfather's father's car. And
Okay.
it was a shady deal, and he was a creepy guy. But that car was a 76 Ford Granada.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And it did have this really sweet straight six engine. Really good engine. But it was the wrong car, and it was a shady deal, and he was a creepy guy, and that's all I got. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all you have to
Start of a
say.
new
That's all
campaign.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. How about you, Chuck? I have a feeling that Chuck's first car was interesting.
My first car was a 1966 Chevy Corvair.
Ooh, okay.
It went,
Corvair.
it went 0 to 60 in 25 minutes.
Okay.
You had to put oil in it equally as often as you had to put gas in it. And according to Ralph Nader, if I had ever got rear-ended, it would have exploded.
It would have exploded. Awesome.
Sounds like our dart.
It sounds like my
Apparently
wife's
never got rented.
my wife's car. My wife's first car was a Pinto, Ford Pinto. Speaking of explosions, she taught me how to drive stick in that car. So I didn't know. I only knew how to drive an automatic. She taught me how to drive a stick in her Pinto that her parents bought her. So not exactly Consumer Reports readers like that. But
Well, mine was the perfect car for a high school student. It ran fine during the week and broke down every weekend.
nice. What about you, Andrew? I see he's lurking around back there without your camera on.
You mean a real car or my first Hot Wheel?
No, your first real car, the one you drove.
It was a 1982 Toyota Corolla, very sensible.
Ooh, that is sensible.
Very
I'm proud of you, Andrew. That's for a guy of your checkered history. That's a quite a sensible car.
Yeah, it was pretty checkered.
I'm proud of you.
For rabbit.
Not quite like yours, but I
we
was
all
inspired to be more like you.
we all checker in our own way. But that's why I can never hold elected office. Probably.
Well, yeah.
So are
I made that decision long ago as well.
I think we got everybody who's coming.
Who's in this campaign? I forgot.
So I think it's
Besides us, obviously.
well, Eric is in it. So I gotta get.
It's great to be
Fiat out
back.
from history. Let me grab him real quick.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Now let me bring you down
Great to be
here.
here.
Good to have you back, man. Everything good?
Everything is great. I got lost, and but after a few months of strife and wandering and doing this and that and various hijinks, I found you here. You guys are in some sort of ruins here. And
Yeah, so let me get everybody up to date. So it's been a while since we played B Team, so we'll just give a quick recap. Basically, you guys after taking a week off, several days off after the almost getting sunk with that crazy Aslanti ship, the Master Bashir asked you to go and down up into
On an easy one.
on an easy one, yeah, up into not Andoran. Where are we? Ara is in. Oh, I'm not going to go back. All right, whatever country this happens to be, just north of Qadira. Basically, he got Master Bashir, as you know, is a collector of a variety of different kinds of items, and he got wind that there was a small feudal lordling in the country directly to the north of Qadira, who was putting some family relics, some things that he'd had in his family for a while up for sale. Master Bashir obviously sent you guys to. Master Bashir said, "I'm interested in this material, especially there's a lot of historical material supposedly that relates to the Qadiran war. Which
we in Taldor?
Taldor, that's it." Taldor. So it relates to the Taldan Qadiran War, of which Master Bashir's ancestors had taken, a significant portion. So he sent you guys to sort of cut a deal with this Taldan lord to try and acquire this material on behalf of him. Easy, basically pick up. You get there, and you're getting ready to meet this guy, and suddenly he blows into this tavern that you guys are. He says, "They're after me. They're killing everybody." And the next thing you know, you guys are surrounded by hags, a trio, a coven of hags, who sort of just like show up and start kicking everybody's ass. You manage to beat them back and get them chased
Dead?
off. But I think 2 dead and 1 chased, I think, is the way it worked out.
Probably got all of them.
I'd have to check, but let's assume 3 dead for the sake of argument.
It was chased, but I tried flirting with her.
Oh, good. That always works. So then actually the guy who they was chasing was the guy you were supposed to meet, this Lord Borza, who had the stuff, and he's like, I don't have it. The Jester Sabas took it, and you finally get the whole story out of him. The idea is that this about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, this guy's wife had died. She had been a magic user, a sorcerer, and she had begun trying to ascertain the nature of what he called these cursed items that he had in their family vault. And so she was actually trying to figure out how to remove the curses on it, and maybe make them into something usable. When she was killed under mysterious circumstances, one may assume that it's potentially related to her, to these investigations. Well, as part of that, various people came to try and cheer the guy up and that kind of stuff. And one of those people was a jester by the name of Sabas, who came in and actually stayed at the manor house with the guy as part of the coterie, small court that this guy had, and sort of cheered him up over the course of the next several months. Well, it turns out that just that very evening, it turns out that this jester had taken those items and a bunch of other things as well and took off. And so you guys the guy basically said, look, if you could get it back, you could have them. That kind of stuff. So you sort of got looped into this chase scenario where you're following this jester. You ran into some guys from a rival Taldan house, House Desarin, who Lord Bortzi suspected was behind it, but of whom you learned that not only were they not behind it, that the jester was a spy, not a thief, and he was supposed to stay there, but that he also somehow co-opted a guy named Wage's brother, into whatever it was that he was going on, and the two of them had taken off. You continued tracking along with the 2 guys from House Desarin to this place where you're at now, this old river town named Rhodius, which had been abandoned for various reasons, some of which are lost in history, several decades before. A small sort of circular town with some crumbling buildings inside. And then there you learned that not only was the jester here, but there were several other groups of people who had been alerted to the fact that these items that the jester sold were going to be put up for auction, for sale, and that these groups had come in hopes of bidding on the items that the jester was trying to get rid of, these magic items that they'd heard of, or at least examining them and seeing if they wanted to get on them. And you guys sort of came in and insinuated yourself into the town as prospective buyers. Where we stopped last time, you guys were talking about essentially a couple of things. One, you are pretty sure that Sabas, his guards, and the items are in this building over here. Now, there's a guard over there on the stairs on this blue platform. The stairs go up and into the building. You think that everybody's in there. However, just running in there and killing anybody in there and taking the stuff back might not be the greatest idea, because there's several groups of people who have interest in those items, and everybody is sort of keeping an eye on everybody else. The centaurs are over there, kind of keeping an eye on these guys over here at the door. Sort of are allowed you in and kind of looked you up and down when you came in. And then there's another different group of people over here that have lions with them, and who near the end of last time were sort of parading them about a bit for
We're trying to impress Bjorn, and he wasn't impressed.
Yeah, for Bjorn's benefit, he stood him down, but obviously, they wanted to make sure that you saw that they had lines, and that's kind of where we left off. You guys hadn't really come up with a plan. It's probably about 4 hours before the auction is slated to actually take place. And you guys are sort of hanging out in this building right here, which for some reason is unlit.
Lama's got a plan. She's been thinking about it.
Okay.
Lama thinks we should just go join the auction, bid the hell out of the item that we're interested in, bid it up, let somebody else take it, and then when this whole thing is over, wait outside and take it from them and go home. Keep the money that we came with.
Just a quick alignment check. Is everybody lawful good here?
No.
No.
Okay, just checking.
Hold on. I am. What am I? God.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the thief is not lawful good.
I don't think it's allowed, so yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not either.
It could
And I'm
be, you
not
never know.
talking about, Lama's not talking about killing anybody, so she's chaotic good. She just doesn't really want to like go through all this stress of trying to get the item or like attack all these guys. And, it's just a lot more fun to create some havoc, make them spend all their money, and just take it from them. Relieve them of the burden once they leave.
Well, it happens that I am chaotic good too, but I don't like to run up the old bad karma. I mean, true, I might be. I hesitate to say thief. I liberate items that need to be freed from.
So you're an equity
he's a freak.
transfer specialist.
He's a freedom fighter. He fights for the freedom of inanimate objects to come with him.
That's,
But
that's what we're talking about.
I don't like to. I use finesse, not force.
That's what we have Llama and Bjorn.
Oh, finesse takes so much time.
Yes.
From a
Excuse me one
lawful
moment. I'm
standpoint,
gonna
there's
fix the drink real
no
quick.
there's no value here with these people.
They're all thieves.
They're all thieves, and what they're auctioning is stolen. So it's not like we have to hold to any law.
Right.
Well, okay. We're talking about doing a mugging.
Yeah.
Thievery.
Or we can go bid the heck out of this and actually win it, even if we don't have the money. And then when they come to collect the money to make the trade, then we just pretty much force them to give it to us anyway.
Well, are all the centaurs male? Are there any females?
This
Does it
is
make a difference?
Where's this going? I'd like to know.
Look, I'm a pretty handsome, charming guy. I'm feeling a little seductive and randy.
I was going to say,
Are
I've
you
got a
hoping
16
they're all
charisma,
male,
but
or you're hoping they're female?
One of them looks female.
Well, then.
Are you guys talking rudely about those centaurs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudely.
Is one of them female?
Huh? Yeah, one of them's definitely female. That one is right there.
Charm.
Oh, right. I
flowers.
think that one is.
Well, so
Phineas
I
apparently
should
is feeling randy.
sidle up to her and.
Who's Randy?
Me.
Oh. No, I mean, oh.
Does Randy feel like?
Oh, we had a new player.
I'm
Hi, I'm Randy.
Well, and the
you
other
know what?
thing is,
I'm really wanting to kill these guys and take it, but if Phineas is going to flirt with the centaur, I'm all about just watching that one.
well, and we
Let's
got
take
sent.
bets on his success.
I'll pop some popcorn and we'll just kind of see how that show goes.
We got sent to try to buy these from the guy who had them originally, so we have some either money or some
Letters
Yeah,
of mark,
letters
primarily.
of mark or whatever. So how much money do we have, or
Well,
how much credit do we have, and is it even possible for us to try and just
You have
get everything at auction?
Okay, sorry, I interrupted. I apologize. You have letters of mark equivalent to 5,000 gold pieces, which was as much as Master Bashir was willing to spend, or at least a down payment. He had hoped that you might be able to negotiate the price lower, but you have letters of mark from Bashir's organization in that amount.
So do we get that $5,000?
Negotiation. You don't negotiate an auction.
What do you mean you get the $5,000? Basically, it was insinuated that if you
If we
guys
can
were
talk
able
them
to
down
talk
to
this
a much
guy's
lower
down,
cost,
right? You guys would keep the remainder.
and by much lower cost, I mean 0.
Exactly.
Well, he said that we can take it if we can get it. So, I mean,
Exactly.
Especially if we've got a smitten female centaur on our side.
yeah, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely in our future.
So I gather a bouquet of Timothy hay.
Don't approach from the rear. I'm just.
Well, I've got the saddle from Victoria's Secret.
Oh God, you guys are sick.
She's holding a mace or something.
Yeah, she's got like a hammer.
Okay, well, she's gonna clobber you.
I just put on some diaper pants and say it's hammer time.
Some diaper pants? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh God. I can't imagine that the centaur could fail to be attracted to a
I
bard,
don't see how she could be.
to a bard in diaper pants.
We got 4 hours to kill, so let's do it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For God's
Phineas.
sake, I've got 20 charisma.
Wow. Beltran and I will take some bets and
Yeah.
pop some
Okay.
money.
We'll go around and take money from all the rest of the people here, and we'll
Yeah,
just keep a
I
cut
think
of
we
it.
make this a whole.
Wait a minute, this is not going to turn into a pony show if that's what you're thinking.
It's totally.
Okay, if I hear about this, I'm going to ignore the macho guys with the lion and go check this out.
Okay. Well, probably Llama's around the corner going, "Come on, God. The bard's gonna try and seduce a centaur." At which point Bjorn's like, "Excuse me, I gotta go."
Excuse me.
It's actually kind of a good ploy to distract everybody and just make them think we're a bunch of morons.
Oh, I can't imagine that would fail.
It's not a hard sell.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think.
All right, so Phineas.
I think this is official.
So you're gonna you pull on your diaper pants, and
Right.
I knew it was.
I mean, how are you gonna approach? Because there's one guy here who's like right in front. So if you want to go talk to the girl centaur, she's sort of around back. That didn't come out the way I hoped it would, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. All right, so you just kind of like roll through there.
Well, I've got a bouquet of Timothy Hay. And I go,
Okay.
Well, I'm
Hi.
just gonna sidle up to the guard and say, "You're gonna want to watch this."
All right, so you guys come over here. So as you guys come forward, I mean, this guy comes around here. As soon as Phineas goes around there, this guy is on high alert. Now, he is up sort of on a platform. He's probably 12, 15 feet above the ground. So, Lama, you're sort of standing almost like under him. But he's next to the door that goes into this thing. So he's very much on high alert. He's got his bow out. He doesn't have he's got an arrow out, but it's not knocked. But you know that he could probably shoot somebody before they could get up that platform. You also see him sort of like do a couple of quick knocks on the door. And give me a perception check, Lama.
Lama's gonna lean. Lama's gonna lean casually against the wall of the stairs, and
Okay.
cross her arms so that she's not like on hands near weapons, you know.
Okay.
And say, "You're really gonna want to watch this." I'm gonna try and it appears so casual and nonchalant and non-combative.
All right. You say to the guy up on the patio?
Yeah, you're gonna want to watch this.
Okay. The 22 on your perception check. When you immediately after, good question, Eric. It's daytime. It's about 2:00 in the afternoon. So the auction itself is set right around for dinner time. So it's daytime. So you hear him sort of like you kind of knock on the door sort of lightly, and you can hear him sort of surreptitiously say, "Bidders on the move. Be careful in there." And you can hear what sounds like a bolt come down on the other side of the door. So effectively sort of blocking that door. Some sort of like, that sound of when you put a piece of wood in those little things around a door. That's the sound that you hear. Beltran and John Heil, you guys also see some dudes kind of like coming around. So one of the guys comes out from this sort of alleyway here and kind of like is watching. You see a couple of dudes from the group over by the gatehouse, kind of like, they're sort of ambling over. They're looking to see what's about to happen.
To the centaur that's approaching.
If you want to get up here.
Huh? To the centaur that's approaching, Les.
Mm-hmm.
This guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Phineas doesn't get out much.
He kind of looks at you very quizzically, like. All right, Phineas. Show there's
Hey, Chuck, are you
stage is
staying down
yours.
there, or are you coming up to watch this?
No, I was going to come up to watch this.
Okay.
Like I said, ignore the guys with the cats. I need to see what's going on.
If Lemma's got food, she's going to start nibbling on it too. You know, just like snacking, watching.
So you pull out some like popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, jerky, whatever.
All right. All right, Phineas.
So
You don't actually get to where the woman is, although you're inside of her. But this other guy is sort of like stands sort of like, you know, kind of like pivots around and is like, "What do you want?"
so where exactly would I be then?
You are right there.
Okay. So do
And
I
it's
need
this guy who's talking to you. So the woman over there is just sort of looking on disinterestedly. But the other guy is sort of like, "What do you want?"
which guy?
The guy right in front of you. This guy right here.
That's a chick.
dude. That's a dude.
Oh, where's the chick?
Damn.
Where's the chick?
Behind.
In the back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where?
Oh wait.
That is the most feminine looking dude ever.
No, that's
Yeah.
the chick.
That's a chick too. I stand corrected. All right. So
Woo, Phineas, you might get lucky.
there's
That was the
there's
idea.
2 horse chicks, and I have a feeling those diaper pants are about to get filled.
Well, you know. So do
That
I
didn't come out right either.
I
I gotta
can
stop
I
talking.
do a diplomacy check?
I'm thinking you're gonna have to, because she's
Oh.
saying, "What do you want? What do you want?
Okay.
You beautiful human, you."
That's right.
Beautiful, you mean.
Whoa.
Oh no!
Holy crap.
All right. So what do you say to
I say,
this gorgeous creature?
hi. We've traveled a long way to come to this auction, and we're very curious about what's on offer and what you can tell us.
Oh,
Oh my god.
boring.
Well, she's sort of at first she's a bit put off, a little bit standoffish, but then you see that she kind of looks at you and you give her a 100-watt smile and that kind of stuff. She's like, "Well, you know, we're just here to, you know, check out the auction. We heard that we got word that there were some magic items for sale and this guy Sabas is selling them, so we figured we'd come by and check it out." The other female centaur kind of moves forward. She wants to listen in. And
Ooh.
frankly, she looks a little jealous.
All right. I say,
Sweet.
So how did you guys hear about the
Horse
about the
fight.
auction?
my name is Phineas. What are your names?
Well, our DM didn't really give us names because he assumed that they would just be that we would just be, you know, murdered by you guys at some point during this
The
whole
DM is vapid.
So let me pull up a quick centaur naming device here and see if I can come up with some names.
It's Lola and Gretel.
Oh, Tanqueray and what were the trailer park women from Beavis and Butthead? Lola and Tanqueray?
Tanqueray. Hold on. All right, I actually have a centaur name generator, which I'm using right now. So the first one is Tryphaea, is the one you're talking to, and her
The second
friend
is Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit. The second one is Celine. So Tryphaea and Celine.
Hey, Celine, I bet you have a great singing voice.
And this guy comes sort of, you hear hoof, the sound of hoofs behind you, and this other one kind of, who's definitively male, guy goes, "Maybe she does, and maybe she doesn't. What's it to you?"
I don't even bother with so tell me more about what's on offer. Who's putting this up, and what do you think I should bid on?
Well, the one behind you says, "Well, we don't think it's any of your damn business. If you don't know what's bidding on, then it's none of your business. You shouldn't even be here. What are you doing here anyway?" And the one in front, the one that you're talking to, is like, "Oh, stop it, it's fine." Hold on. Name generator. Absanthus, stop it. You know, everything's fine. She's, "Well, we heard that there were some old Kadiran materials and some cursed items. We have some sorcerers in our herd. that
Let's go with that.
we'll go with herd that are really interested in this sort of thing, so they sent us out here. And then the other one says, "Yeah, they sent us out here." and the first one is like, "Shut up, Celine."
I'm going to offer the male centaur some jerky.
All right.
What kind of jerky?
It's horse
Don't
jerky.
worry. Don't
It's
worry.
horse
This
jerky.
will be over before it starts.
All right, so you're like,
Is there a condition called penis envy?
there always has been. I don't know why it wouldn't be here. Okay, a couple of things. So Phineas has broken the ice with the two centaur ladies, and they now are both sort of vying to engage in the conversation. So various kinds of things are happening, and you can see almost at one point Celine kind of like shoulders her way in, and you can see Tryphea is just kind of like, "What are you doing? You know, I'm talking to this human man." Lama. All right, let's go in order. Lama, give me a diplomacy check for the jerky offering.
I was so hoping you weren't going to make me do that.
Hold on, I gotta
This is
write.
not-
I gotta write down that because I've never said those words before in my life. Give me a diplomacy check.
Did that come from a bad Vietnam movie? You want us some jerky?
-2.
And you rolled a 8.
Actually,
She rolled a 10.
No, I've been
Wait,
informed.
your
No, it's
diplomacy is -2.
no wait. It's actually not applicable.
Okay.
NA.
So it's a 0. So you rolled a 10.
I rolled
A 10.
a 10. Okay. I have a
All right.
-2 charisma modifier, but I guess it doesn't apply because it's not available.
Okay, so you roll a 10. Let me just see what his
Not so
reaction
bad.
to this would be. Hold on a second, I have to check.
I mean, for a woman as not pretty as me, that's not so bad. I've got a 7
pretty impressive.
charisma. Yeah.
Your popularity doesn't stem from your looks. It stems
No.
from your ability to kick people's asses.
My charm.
Yeah, your charming charisma. So
So you're saying
do-
Mama's
okay,
actually
so-
very beautiful. She's just really, really hard to get along with.
So exactly, she's got tendencies. All right, so I'm going to do a quick sense motive. It was close. It was real close. So at first he kind of looks over and he almost was reaching out to take the jerky and sort of give you a.
I don't have an ill motive. That's not really appropriate. I really didn't have an ill motive. I'm seriously just offering the dude to buy the jerky. I'm not hitting on him. I'm just like saying, I mean, this is entertainment. I'm standing here. It'd be rude for me not to offer.
You're like, get a load of these guys, huh?
Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
motive. So I don't know, honestly.
So he looks over and he kind of like gives you a little smile, but he brushes away the jerky. And he just says no. He doesn't want any jerky. All right, now Fiat, Eric, you've sent me an ability that you want to try and charm the other one. So you're gonna like kind of like wander up through there and get close to them and try to talk to Celine.
Actually, Phineas is doing so well, and he's obviously a handsome, charming bloke. I want to try to be, I don't really know how to be a wingman, but what if actually,
Why don't you offer that other centaur some jerky?
well,
Do centaurs
Actually-
eat jerky?
I thought that, okay, let me amble over toward Phineas.
Okay.
Here, can I move?
Yeah, you should be able to move your guy.
Don't approach the girls from the rear.
I shall not.
Yeah, especially since Fiat is about the size of a football.
That's right.
If he had come around to here and gotten kicked, he
I go over the wall.
conceivably have gone over the wall into the river. And then the other centaur would be like,
It's good.
that's an extra point.
Right. Well, you know what? I actually want to try to use my charmer skill. And,
Okay.
I say to both lady centaurs. So hey, I hear you. I see you've had the good fortune to meet my talented, handsome friend. Phineas here. He's a lovely man, and I think this is your lucky day.
All right, so you enact a charmer ability, which allows you to do 2 rolls of your diplomacy check and take the higher one. So go ahead and roll 2 diplomacy checks with your full bonus.
Okay. Les, I just sent you my.
Let me check that real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my diplomacy roll is. I'm sorry, friends.
+9.
Okay, so I roll a D20.
Yep, D20 plus 9, and you roll it. You roll 2 of them.
2 of them.
Both 2 D20s plus 9, and you take the higher one. Okay. That's what charmer does.
So here's the first one, going now, and
right.
5.
14. So plus 9. You can add the +9 in the dice roller too, by the way.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's see. Here and 20.
So natural 20 plus 29. All right, so here's what happens. Celine, you come up and you're like, "Hey, I see you've met my, my handsome human friend, and he's a great guy, and blah blah blah." And Celine is so enamored with you that she reaches down, grabs you, and throws you on her back, and says, "I haven't seen a hobbit for a long time. Where did you come from?" There's no hobbits in Taldor.
Well, my name is Fiat. I've rarely had. I've never had the honor to meet such a lovely centaur as you. And I'm just charmed and thrilled. And so we're just a group of wandering friends. We just are out for just wandering around, and we just
and we're thirsty. Where's the pub?
We're thirsty. Where's the pub? And I would love to buy you a drink and hear your life story.
She blushes and says, "You are just about the cutest thing I have ever seen. I have some mead in my saddlebag." She pulls it out. It's a flask of mead. She hands it over. And Lama, the guy next to you, just kind of shakes his head and says, "I'll take some of that jerky now."
I lean over to Bjorn and say, "Bjorn, I've been around for a while, but I've never seen anything like this before, ever."
I'm gonna over my left shoulder, the guy up on the platform. I hope you're getting this. Are you enjoying this?
He's like, "Hey, there's no account for personal taste. Non gustipum disputum est."
Yes. So, well, my goal will be to just chat up Celine, and I kind of want to gradually find out why they're here and what they want to bid on.
Well, so this whole situation devolves into this chat up where you have Phineas and Trifea talking about various things. Now Fiat and Celine are talking to each other. Fiat is sitting sort of sideways on Nib. He's not used to horses, a little frightened, but she's she's like, "Here, hold on to my hair," my that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gently, that kind of thing. And so they're talking. Lama, this guy, the guy next to you, he does take some of the jerky and seems to be cordial. He's like, my name is Absanthus, and yours, that kind of thing. And you say, I'm assuming you say, "Oh, I'm Lama of the hill people," or whatever you tell people. So the next thing you know, Beltran, you and Bjorn and John and this other guy from down by the Lion crew are just sort of standing around watching this going, "What the fuck did we just see? Yeah, what did we just see?" But it's a huge chat up over here right now. So you do find out a couple of things. So one, basically what Trifea said before is they got word through various channels, and they aren't entirely sure what channels, to their centaur herd, their hetman, that that there was going to be some magic items and some things on sale. And what she would admit to you is that, frankly, these centaurs, she comes from a pretty sizable herd of centaurs, a couple hundred. But like a lot of things, they have wizards and warriors and that kind of thing. But the problem is that their wizards tend to be druidic, and so they don't have a ton of magic items that are purely sort of arcane, which they're desperate to acquire. So when they heard about this auction taking place, they decided to come out here and check it out. They heard some things that maybe these items were cursed, but they wanted to take a look for themselves. They didn't want to pass up a chance to potentially get hold of some arcane magic items for their wizards back at their herd. I'm not sure what the deal is with the guys with the lions. They don't like lions, and they're kind of like off-put a little bit, but they're like, between you and, just between the three of us, I think that if it came to it and they stick those lions on us, we can take them. As you know, centaurs are very good against lions. And she brags a little bit. And they do have like hammers and bows and arrows and stuff like that. So, in addition to the ability to kick the crap out of anything that might end up behind them. Beyond that, they don't really know much about what they're doing. They're not going to tell you what they're authorized to bid up to. But they, the bigger one, the one standing next to Lama, does seem to have a pretty sizable saddlebag. Now it hasn't made any noise, but your guess is that that's where their money is.
Okay. Well, I'm just thrilled.
Well, she finds you to be completely enchanting and adorable, and you guys are just talking about like where telling. It goes from where are you from? Oh, I'm from here. Where did you? Oh, I'm from the Shire. To you guys are exactly. To now you guys are telling stories, and Fiat, you're a pretty good storyteller. And Phineas, in some cases, will be jumping in and saying, "Oh yes, Phineas, Fiat was doing that," and Fiat, you'll jump in on his story. So it's like a singles bar over there.
We finish each other's sentences.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right, cool. Great. Well,
it's like Smith and Wesson over there.
I kind of want to not interfere with what seems like a benevolent mission. These centaurs seem good, and they seem like they're not up to any nefarious end. And
basically, they tell you that they're here because they were sent here to try and ascertain whether or not they could acquire some of these arcane magic items. They don't get an opportunity to do this very often, so they wanted to take advantage of it.
That's great.
Are we supposed to take everything back, or is there something?
Yes, we are. Does anyone in this party have bluff?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
I'm great at talking with people and telling the truth. I'm not so good at
John Miles good for you.
Not telling the truth.
Yes.
Maybe we could convince these guys that something bad's going to go down, and we're looking out for them and tell them go away.
So how do you go about doing that?
I don't know if I think we've got some potential allies here.
Well, maybe
allies who are trying to buy our stuff back.
What
if we make a agreement not to buy what they're interested in if they don't buy what we're interested in?
But everything that they're selling here is stuff we're supposed to get back to Bashir.
All of it?
Yeah, Bashir kind of wanted all of it.
Well, that's a little greedy.
He's a merchant prince from Kadira.
Well, that gets us back to plan A then.
Eric, I have +4 bluff, but I think we've already got him charmed, so I don't know how much we have to worry about bluff. I think we can.
So no one has bluff.
Yeah,
I have +4.
Hyle's got +10.
Okay, so Hyle's our best bluffer then.
Okay, all right, good, got it.
So Lama, you feel like that the big centaur next to you, that you guys sort of instinctually recognize each other as sort of the martial capable people. And after a few pieces of jerky, he actually reaches into one of his saddlebags and pulls out what turns out to be a flask of wine and hands it to you. He's
certainly take a swig of that.
He's not much of a talker, but you do seem to get on his good side.
I was gonna say neither is she, so
yeah. So you guys are just standing there trading jerky and wine, and what kind of jerky is this? And you're like, monkey.
Monkey jerky.
And he goes, how do you make monkey jerky? And you go, well, first you catch them, then you jerk them.
Oh my God.
Again, you don't want to know.
So basically, you guys got a little powwow going over here. Now, the guy on the patio is not too enthusiastic about it. And at one point, he'll actually yell down, hey, why don't you guys move away a little bit here? It's getting a little bit crowded around the stairs. Hey, why don't you guys take it over there a little bit? And he points over to this area over here. The two female centaurs are like, yeah, sure, no problem there. Okay. And they actually go ahead and physically move over in this area. And Trifia says, come on, Phineas, that kind of thing. I assume you go with it.
Well, which I'm apparently on a centaur's back. So yes,
Yep.
all right. So if she moves, so do I.
Yep,
Great.
she does.
All right. And ma'am, am I holding your hair?
Well,
Everything all right?
a little gentler, please.
Okay, sure. Sorry about that.
All right, so Lamb, I'm assuming you're gonna kind of go over there just to keep an eye on things. You do see that Phineas is sort of standing inside of this little busted out place. You'll also notice that there's a hole in the wall over here that's pretty substantial. You realize that you could probably pick through that. It's probably difficult terrain. I don't know. You don't know that you would want to run through there. It looks like a prescription for a twisted ankle, but the wall is down.
Yeah. I'm just going to continue to make friendly conversation.
Okay.
With
With the big guy.
Joe Buck. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, so at some point he'll, after you pass the wine back and forth, he's like, so, what was your last battle? And you guys can start talking about, fights that you won and showing off scars and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Sounds wonderful. I'm happy.
What about the rest of you? So Bjorn and Beltran, you guys will see that Wage and one of his archer guys is sort of over here in the back, just sort of hanging out, and the other archer guy is sort of taking a position over here. Instinctually, you get the impression that this guy is sort of covering the guy in the tower, and that this guy is sort of watching these two guys over here from sort of half cover. While Wage watches you guys. These two guys are the two gate guys. They're just sort of standing there like, all right, whatever. This doesn't look too dumb. But they do kind of like mosey over here. It's almost as if that they want to join in the conversation, but are too socially awkward. John, I see that you've gone around there and you're in the building now?
Yeah, I'm just snooping around.
All right. So,
I'm probably going to be talking with John and Bjorn and pretty much saying what I was just saying right there. Is that if these guys have made friends with these, we either need to, like I said, these guys are, even though they're friendly now, are still they're competitors for our mission.
Well, yeah, this might complicate things.
So either
if you have to kill them.
Yeah, so if we don't want to kill them, then we need to convince them that we're looking out for them and they need to leave.
Beltran, give me a quick, intelligence check. Or knowledge nature? No, that wouldn't be really knowledge nature. Intelligence check.
Aren't you worried that the people that are hosting the auction might be a little concerned if we start having conversations, people start disappearing?
Good point. Yeah, they might. They might actually become concerned at that. So that's your intelligence check is a 9?
I've got a 10 intelligence, so.
Ugh. All right, Bjorn, how about you? Or John? John Heil, too, if you've got a...
Marks is not my forte.
You want a what check out of Bjorn?
Intelligence check.
You're probably gonna say, well, I did.
Or you could pass on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man, no kidding. John, you missed it, too?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Oh,
up to
fine.
you, Bjorn. Woo!
Wow, you guys are really blazing some new paths here, I gotta say.
Look, stand something up in front of me, and I will kill it quickly.
Yes.
I'm not going to out
You're not
chess
the
it.
smart half of the party.
They are unintimidated right now.
Maybe the path is to convince them that what they're selling is cursed, and we're trying to collect it so we can get it back and dispose of it properly.
Right.
Well,
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Or we can say that, this place is surrounded. We're part of the force that's coming in to collect these stolen items, and if they're still here when this thing starts, they're going to be caught with everyone else. And
Well, but then again, that's going to set off alarms if they just disappear. Convincing them to stay through the auction, but
Yeah,
not
from the,
bid on the items would be a lot less.
Well, what's the story we use to get them to do that? Since
Same
they're
story. I mean, you guys are welcome to bid on these things, but we're here to tell you they are very evil.
well, they have admitted that they came here, that they really don't know much about the items that they're bidding on, but they came here because their herd simply doesn't have that much in the way of arcane magic. And so they're trying to, sort of expand things for their herd.
They were
Maybe,
stolen from a very low-level, high-level demon, if you know what I mean.
maybe you guys can sweeten the deal.
I don't have any arcane stuff. I'm not an arcane guy.
I got nothing.
Let's see. I have thieves' tools.
That'll impress them.
Charm animal and calm animal scrolls.
But you used one of those on the halfling.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I did.
I have a traveler's any tool that might interest them.
A what?
Any tool. It's just
You guys don't have any magic items you can hand off to them to make sure that they do the right
our
thing?
DM, Les? Do you know
Yeah,
our DM?
our DM doesn't give us that much for magic items.
I've heard he's incredibly nice and super fair.
Very handsome, very
Okay.
talented, but
He's
doesn't
And very
go about
stingy.
magic.
But he does not hand out magic items.
All right. Well, maybe.
I literally have like 1, 2, 3. I think I've got 3 magic items.
Okay.
I have
It's a start.
I'm not counting the 2 potions I got. So 5 if you count the 2 potions I got.
It's a start.
Let's see.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some way you could sweeten the deal. Maybe it's not. But yeah, you guys, now that you've sort of made friends with these guys, you find yourself in a bit of a conundrum in that if it goes down, yeah. Well, so already Fiat is like, I don't want to attack these guys. If the shit goes down, and you guys have to go after the Jester, and you draw the ire. I mean, remember, there's 2 other groups here. That could be a problem. You could end up at sword points with these guys.
I think if we just are roughly honest and tell them that we were sent here by the person who all these goods were stolen from, and these items were evil, that they're cursed, they're not meant to be sold, and I mean, it's there's nothing of value for these centaurs to give.
and that there's backup waiting
Okay,
to
if
protect
we're
us.
truthful, then I can use diplomacy, which I'm much better at.
You could try that. So speaking on behalf of the centaurs, it might their suspicion might be that you're trying to
Well, that's what the diplomacy.
clear the competition. Yeah.
Well, that's what the diplomacy rolls for.
But then also, I mean,
Convince them.
who's to say Bashir gets all of this? Maybe we throw them a bone. I mean, for God's sakes, how could he complain if we come back with 90%?
I mean, we don't even know what it was stolen anyway. Other than we're looking for the two things that we know of, right? And one's probably busted up and gone, right?
That's your suspicion, yeah, that the urn has been broken. Your suspicion is that the urn was broken, and that's what released the 3 hags. That those 3 hags were
Right.
in that urn.
And there was only 2 other items stolen, if I remember right.
Yes.
Oh, there was 3 items, so that means there's only 2 items left.
Well, there was also some papers that Bashir was interested in, but you don't know if those are who has those right now.
Are there other items for auction, or is it just the stolen stuff we're after?
They don't know yet.
Point is, they can have all the other stuff if we
Right.
get what we can.
Right. They just keep their bids off our stuff.
Or we all work together and just take it.
Take it
bidding,
all.
it's ours.
So the 3 items that were stolen were a magical urn, dreaded for its dark power to issue forth horrors, a mace that drives its possessor to murderous madness, and a necklace that throttles anyone who puts it on.
Yeah, charming. So, my
Well, I
vote
can
is
just use
we
diplomacy
are
then.
honest with them and say we need this, and you go for anything else.
If there's anything else other than these 2 items,
So hard to sell that I mean, what are they going? How are they going to auction these items if they're both cursed items? What are they going to say? That they're obviously going to lie and say that there's something different from what they are.
Well, I mean, if you've got essentially, if we assume that the urn was broken, which seems like it was, then basically what you're looking at is a magical mace and a magical necklace. Now, there seem to be pretty standard cursed items, which means that these guys can say anything they want. You don't know if they've sent anybody here that can do identify or anything like that. And the thing about cursed items is that they don't respond readily to identifies. They identify as the items that they are pretending to be.
Unless you do a really good identify, yeah.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is tell the dwarf to put the necklace on and prove that it's not cursed. I mean, or the jester, whatever. He's a dwarf, right? Or just a small?
He's a human. He's just short.
Okay.
I'd say have him use both things.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a cursed item and they're trying to say it's not, to convince the centaurs, all we got to do is say, you know, hey, make them use them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've mentioned the idea of cursed items in front of anyone else but your party yet.
Yeah, no, we're still talking about it. Yeah, we're talking about it between
Okay.
and Bjorn and John Howe. And we probably ought to be whispering if these two guys are coming up close to us.
Yeah, they're pretty close actually to Bjorn. You hear John yelling out for, "Hey, do you think we should tell these guys about the curses?" Ixnay on the Ursa's K, he says, and that's not common.
I just want to hear Bjorn say, tell the guys that are in charge of this thing, excuse me, guys, you're getting a little too close. Can you back up, please?
So is the auction going to be where the dude is on the stairs, the guard? Where's the auction going to be held?
Probably going to take place either on those stairs or probably the easiest spot would be out here in this courtyard right here.
Oh, out there.
Yeah, I think they said that when we came in. They said to wait around the periphery of that area. I remember, right?
Yeah, they certainly could have. All right, I'm going to reload my drink.
Me too.
Figure out a plan.
Lama's not a planner. No one likes Lama's plan. Lama's going to do what she's told.
So wait a minute. Why aren't we just telling the centaurs, look, these items these arcade items that you want are cursed. You might as well just leave.
Well, because we don't know what all is there, I would suggest that we tell at least the two females why we're here, and that's our only interest. They're welcome to bid on anything else. We can share with them. If they doubt us, we could ask the auctioneers to try these items on.
Okay, I see. Cool. I would kind of like to warn our new friends of the great peril they are in. Now, I'm something of a storyteller and a poet, so while I am sitting on Celine's back, and no, this isn't weird at all, I am taking out my ink pen and my paper, and I am writing her a poem right now. So while you all are talking, I'm writing a poem to Celine. And
Seriously rubbing your thigh against her withers?
no, just sitting there innocuously writing a poem.
Does anybody see in like a trailer for a movie right now? Is theirs was a forbidden love.
I am now.
All right, so you're writing a poem to Celine. She is enchanted, by the way, by this surprising turn of events. Phineas, you're continuing to talk up. What are you guys going to do? You got there's still a couple hours left before the thing is going to take place.
Well,
Use diplomacy to do this, and I can aid whoever.
Okay.
Well, I've already rolled a 34 diplomacy.
Now, this is a new check. That was just to get close to him.
Oh, okay.
So I can aid you.
Hopefully you didn't blow your magic.
Yeah, I can aid too, somebody. Although right now I've got my Eidolon on, so I'm kind of not in the best of shape to do diplomacy or bluff or anything.
I'm just feeling we have allies here, and there are 200 possibly in the vicinity. So use that as a strength, whatever we do.
So you're gonna go with like we're here on a mission, and we've got we're the advanced guys for a whole bunch of other dudes.
Here's our mission. Let us help you. You help us. We don't. All we want
We
are
won't
these.
bid on anything else, but we have to have these 2 items.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to try to convince the 3 centaurs to flee. So I have written a poem to Celine.
Why
And
would you want them to flee? We want them as allies.
well, okay. All right.
They have strength and numbers and fighting ability. I say we just say, this is why we're here. We'll help you with your ends if you help us with ours.
Yeah, they're not here for cursed items, so I mean, we have nothing in conflict with our interests.
All right. Okay.
But for their point of view, they're not. So I mean, so from the centaur point of view, if you say, "Hey, look, we're just going to let you in on a little secret. These items are all cursed and they're stolen. We're here to pick them back up. You guys would be fools to bid on them." From their point of view, it's going to be difficult. They would immediately assume that what you guys are trying to do is to screw them out of bidding on the auction, keep them from getting the stuff, and to get a better price. Because that's what I mean. You guys have been to auctions. That's what you would think.
Which is why we suggest. I don't know who suggested it, but we say let's have the auctioneers try this stuff on before anyone bids, just so you can see, and be prepared for a fight. Because if they pick up that mace or whatever, they're going to start swinging. So we just let them know what to expect. Does that make sense?
You hear what I said?
No.
Said that's what the diplomacy check is for, is to basically convince them that we're telling the truth.
Okay. All right. So you guys. So all right. So Phineas is going to basically spill his guts here.
He's going to make the roll. I'm basically up to 2 people who have the diplomacy can do a DC 15 check just to add +2 to his roll.
Okay.
My diplomacy is already 15, so I just automatically add 2 to his roll.
Fiat, give me a diplomacy check for
Oh, wait a minute. Can I sing Inspire Competence first?
Are you just going to break into song right there?
Yeah. I'm going to serenade the ladies.
This is the weirdest pickup I've ever seen. All right, so you're going to serenade them with Inspire Competence,
yes,
which will affect them positively too. So okay,
that's okay because we're not lying. It's not like it's
John. That's an aid on the coming diplomacy check.
Right.
Okay, and Beltran
+2.
Okay. All right. So Phineas pulls out his. And I always forget, Phineas. What's your instrument? What musical instrument do you play? The lute. All right. So he's like whips out his lute and is like karang. And just begins the show. All right. So Fiat, give me a diplomacy check for the poem.
Okay. Hang on a minute. I get a +9.
+9, yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
you could put that in the actual roll too if you want to do that. See how it says +5 on Lammas?
Yeah, hang on. So
there's like a little puller thing on the side there. You see where it says roll 1d20 plus, and then that's a little arrow thing.
Sorry, hang on.
That's all right.
You just click on the die. Don't click and then go down the menu to get to 20. You just click on the die.
Gotcha.
That pulls up the whole die roller.
+1, +9. Gotcha.
Roll.
Roll.
+9.
Here we go. Rolling now.
Okay, this is great. All right, natty 1 on the poem. So everything seems to be Phineas. You witness this, John. You see this too, and Lamma, you're just like, no. So you see Fiat pulls out like pen and paper, and he's like, I shall write you a poem, and he writes down this thing, and she's at first she's like enchanted by this. She's like, a poem? I've never had a hobbit write me a poem before. He finishes it up. He's like, here's the poem, and then he hands it to her, and she begins to read it. And at first she's like, and then you see her eyes sort of like, huh? And then you see a look of anger kind of come down her face, and she goes, I can't believe you would give me this disgusting doggerel. And she crumples it up and throws it on the ground. And she's like, get off my back. And she kind of like bucks. So give me a reflex save.
Oh, shit.
He wrote her a dirty poem. He wrote her a dirty poem.
I told you to stay away from the limericks.
There once was a hobbit from Shire who accidentally set his balls in the fire. Reflex save, Fiat.
It's a +9 again. And so,
No, reflex save for you is going to be. Yeah, it's +9 again. So yeah, same.
there you go. Let's see. Yeah, that, 2 +9 roll. Oh my god.
11. You go flying off. She bucks once, and you weigh what, like 50 pounds? You go flying off the back. And roll. I'm gonna roll a D8 for direction and a D6 for distance. So direction 2, 45 pounds and 1 square. So direction 2 is into the wall. You actually land on the top of the wall. She bucks you so hard you actually land over there, and you take 4 points of damage for the hard landing.
Ow.
Ouch. Phineas, you see this, and your loot pick stops in mid-strum, and you're like, what? What did he do? Lama, you see this guy whirl around and look at that, and he's like, Celia, what happened? Celine, what happened? And she's like, he wrote me a filthy hobbit poem. And he's like, and you see him sort of draw his bow.
Is going to double over laughing and say, I told you this was a show worth watching. Don't take it personally. Phineas doesn't get out much.
That was Fiat, actually.
Fiat doesn't, they don't get out much, these guys. I'm going to try and laugh it off. And of course, I have no skills for any kind of diplomacy, but you know, guy, gal to guy.
All right, so you're trying to laugh it off. I'm just going to take off the things here. So Fiat's on the wall, sort of recovering. You see this guy beginning to draw a bow after this centaur has sort of said, "Oh, he's terrible." And Phineas, do you still want to try and diffuse this situation?
Yeah.
John's already put a thing, and you got inspired confidence going.
Get another poem.
Well, let me do a diplomacy.
Sophia seems to be like looking around like what? She's not sure what happened.
So 24 diplomacy.
24 diplomacy plus a 2 from John.
And plus 2 for me.
Did you actually roll it?
I've got a 15, so I can't not.
Okay, so plus 4, so 28. Phineas, what do you say to her as this is all going down?
Hold on, I'm sorry. You know, that's my cousin, and he fell on his head as an infant.
You see, Trifia going.
Yo, fell on his head.
She looks at you, and she's like, "Wait." At first, the first time she looks at you is like cousin, and then she looks up back at the guy and at Fiat, and then you say, "Fell on his head as an infant," and she looks over at you again. It's like, "What? What?" But she doesn't move, and you see this guy sort of. He hears it, and you can see him sort of like stop. He's still got an arrow knocked, and you can see Fiat trying to like get up off the flat part of the thing, but Celine is still disgusted. She's like this. She's like, I can't believe you would say such a thing to me.
And I try to get her to laugh it off, and I go, look, he's not my cousin by blood. We grew up, and our parents were good friends. He was always a little slow and a little off. He means well, and we love him.
She looks at you, and the 28 diplomacy seems to be working. She's like, "Would you keep your cousin away from me? He's sick. He's sick."
I say, "Yes, he is, and I'm sorry for that. Let me buy you a mug of mead."
All right.
We're almost gonna like crawl laughing over to the base of the stairs and look up at the guard with tears streaming out of her eyes and say, "Are you catching this?"
He's kind of all right. Hold on, let me see what his reaction is. Hold on a second. see what kind of reaction this guy has to this whole adventure. 16. So you can see he's kind of laughing. He kind of nods at you, and he's like, "Yeah, that was. I haven't seen that before in a long time." So he doesn't say anything though. He's really quiet, but he does not move from the spot. The wall is about 12. No, it's not. It's about 10 feet high. That was a heck of a buck that she just like sort of reared back and badoing, and you just went flying. And landed up there. You sort of get up and sort of brush yourself off, and you're like, "What? What did I say?" Yep, 4 feet tall. Well, so it wasn't as far from her. I don't know what do you call it back the ass of the horse up to the top as it wasn't the whole 10 feet. She probably chucked you about 8 feet.
Took it easy on him.
That damage inflicting?
Yeah, 8 points. 4 points. He landed hindquarters. That's the word I was looking for. Not horse's ass. That's a whole different thing. Yeah, I think you don't know that she was aiming. She just sort of like was disgusted and just bucked him off. And he sort of went in a random direction. Just happened to land up on the top of the thing on the stone. On the stone, the broken stone of the wall. He might have, had that D6 been a little longer, he might have gone over the wall. Which would have been great.
And the other one would have said, "It's good."
All right. So Phineas, you seem to have kept the situation from devolving into outright combat, but Fiat, frankly, is persona non grata at this point. You're keeping this thing together by a hair. Everybody else is sort of like looking on. These guys are laughing. Everybody's kind of like hanging back. So that 28 you had to use to try and convince these guys not to attack based on Fiat's terrible poem. Now you want to try and talk to him about the auction. I need another set of aids and a diplomacy check if you want.
Aiding.
Okay, so I start singing Mr. Gorbachev, tear down the wall.
Okay. Which they love, by the way. That's just like,
of course they do.
She's like, I remember this song from the 80s. All right. Did not make no aid from John Heil. Seems to be rolling bricks tonight. Oh, man. Phineas.
15. It's 10, isn't it?
It's 10, yeah, to aid
I got
successfully.
that and include the +2 for the...
Oh, okay, so you did. So 37 for Phineas. And did you? I didn't even see you roll, dude. I'm not seeing your rolls.
My skill's at 15.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so all right, so
Awesome.
39. That's really good. So Phineas, what do you tell these guys? Like once you get them calmed down, you're like, what do you tell them?
I tell them why we're here and what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it. That we work for a patron who has sent us to reclaim his stolen goods, and not just because they're stolen, but because they're evil and they have to be destroyed. We're here to... That's all we want. We'll help them with whatever their needs are. We just ask that they don't bid up on them or try to acquire them, and we'll prove it by if they come up and they don't believe us, we'll ask the auctioneer to try it on, but be prepared to do battle if he goes crazy. So I'm just being honest with him.
Okay, so at that moment, and I'm assuming that this is loud enough for people in the vicinity to hear.
Oh, no, I'm whispering in her ear. Come on, I'm more romantic than that.
Well, that's romantic, baby.
Yeah.
Well, are you just telling the one woman centaur that all the guys can't aid?
I put my arms around their necks, run my fingers through their manes, and say quietly. I'm not yelling at the top of my lungs.
So who do you want to be able to hear?
The two females. Well, can the male centaur, was he charmed?
He did. Well, no, but he wasn't. I mean, he was friendly enough.
Well, it looks like there's a group around. I'm not yelling, but I'm talking quietly, and it looks like there's a group of us huddled together.
Okay.
So I'm just saying in a quiet, conversational voice. I'm not going, "Hey, everybody!"
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta do a couple of things here. 1 second. Okay. Bjorn, give me a perception check. All right, so you can hear pretty clearly Phineas is talking to these guys. They're all sort of gathered around Phineas. All the centaurs are sort of gathered around him, listening to what he has to say. John and Beltran are sort of there, adding their 2 cents and aiding. You can hear this pretty well, and you look over to the guy next to you, and you're pretty sure he heard all of it too, because he smacks the guy next to him, who doesn't seem to be paying too much attention, and is like, over this way. And they both start heading back over to this guy. They go over to this guy, and you can see them talking to him, but this guy is obviously sort of the leader type, and you can see them pointing a couple of things when they mention, not at you, but like over by the centaurs. So you're pretty sure they heard what Phineas had to say.
Don't convince him. He's just hitting hard on him.
The big male centaur comes to you, leans forward, and says, "I feel there's truth in what you say, but how do we prove it? How do we know that you're not just trying to get a better price on the auction from us? We don't want to bring cursed magic items back to our herd, but we need to know for sure that you're on the level. Do you have any proof of this? Any evidence at all?"
Well, like I said, when they come up for offer, we ask the auctioneer to try them on, but be prepared to fight because they will drive him crazy.
What if he refuses?
Then maybe you'll take my word for it, or we just say nobody's buying it till he tries it on and shows us that it's the real deal.
It's not a bad plan. And I think, I speak for my sisters here. I think we're with you on this. But as for the rest, what's to keep them from bidding on it? Don't you move.
Let us deal
I'll
with
deal with you later.
All we ask is that you leave it to us when it comes to those 2 items. We'll support you in anything you want to acquire other than those. We're not going to bid against you. We'll help you any way we can, but we have to get those items back to our master to be destroyed. Whatever else you need, you've got from us.
Yeah, we won't bid against you.
All right, agreed. He reaches his hand and shakes your hand, Phineas. Agreed then.
That's a hand, yes.
Yeah, he has hands. He's not. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a bow and arrow, and a lance too. So don't be careful. All right. So there seems to be an agreement in place.
Poem, but not with sending.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have started with "There once was a centaur from Kent."
All right. Agreement in place. You still got a little while. You can tell that those gate guys over there have been talking. They know something's up, and they did hear, Phineas, what you said. You're not sure about the lion guys. All retreated back to their little compound over there, and every once in a while you hear a lion sort of roar, which makes the centaurs displeased. And so the big centaur, the male, will go over. Comes over to you, Lama, and says, "We've reached an agreement with your friends, but those lions give me pause. I have no idea what I don't know what they'll do. Should things go awry, may I count on you? Should they bring the lions to us? Since centaurs mislike lions, and I have a feeling that they were here deliberately to be provocatory towards us, which I do not like. But if they do attack or something goes awry in the auction, may I count on your assistance?"
I've never left the back of a friend, especially when I drink with.
Indeed. He reaches down and shakes your hand as well. And the traditional, sort of Roman centurion, everybody grasping forearms thing that you recognize. I've not known many of your kind, half-orc, but you seem to be an exemplar among them, despite your low charisma. All right, so auction time is nearing. Are you guys going to do anything specific between now and when they come out?
Well,
Fiat, I assume that you're going to come down from the wall and try and get away from these centaurs.
I asked the female centaurs if they want to walk on the beach.
And come with me for a stroll on the riverbank.
Yeah.
So small little Fiat is on top of this 10-foot wall, and he's just sort of standing there looking at you guys like, "Hey, little help, little help." The two female centaurs say they would be pleased to accompany you, such a charming and persuasive human, for a small stroll on the beach before we go on to it. So John could easily join them. He is also quite an attractive human, which they notice on. Celine, Fiat, you've lost the attentions of Celine, and she seems to be more interested in John now that he's changed into his human form.
John's going to wait till they go for their walk and help Fiat down from the wall.
Okay. So, Phineas, you take them for a stroll. I'm assuming you're going to regale them with tales of your daring do and all sorts of things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to avoid limericks.
Precisely. All right. What about the rest of you? You guys do anything? So Lama, the male centaur stays. He just sort of looks on as like a no poetry.
I think I'm going to go just excuse myself to visit my other friends, and I want to go talk to Bjorn and see how he feels, like the rest in Beltran, how the rest of these guys guarding the front gate, what their demeanor is and what they think of us. And I kind of explain what we've got going on that I'm aware of over with the centaurs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let her know that the two of the members of the gate guard, or whomever these people are over there, heard what Phineas was saying. So we can expect them to be at a heightened sense of security.
So then Lama's going to start talking extra loud about just how desperate our friend Phineas is and how long it's been for him and what a poor spot and how he's just not picky, and going to just really kind of play it up and laugh.
How can you say that? I had the biggest crush on you.
I'm trying to save your ass.
Yeah, but he just met a couple of female centaurs, so that those crush days are over.
Wow.
Everybody else is like, Phineas is kind of a pervert, isn't he?
I'll tell her that I considered going and trying to talk to them, but I don't have that talent. So if I had gone anywhere near them, they would have just gotten even more riled, assuming I was going to attack.
I'm hoping I'm talking loud enough they can overhear me, like I'm not really trying to talk to them, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not far away. Can they hear less? Me acting like I'm talking to Bjorn and...
Oh, no, I mean, you can be as quiet as you want. I mean, they're outside the wall kind of wandering about.
No, these guys right here. I want these guys.
I mean, yeah, you could certainly make your voice loud enough where they could hear you.
That's my goal, is just to like...
She's trying to bluff, Liz.
Yeah.
Without having any skills in it whatsoever. But I'm not like face-to-face, eyeball-to-eyeball bluffing as much as playing out an acting role with Bjorn.
Well, it's still a bluff. Give me a bluff check. See what happens.
I don't even know if I'm capable. I don't think I'm capable.
Come on. Anybody can
Just give us a
lies.
raw
You're
D20 then.
You're just not good at it.
I got a big NA, so just roll, huh?
Yep. Straight up.
There's a song there, I think. Yes!
Yeah, that's a solid 6. A gentleman's 6, if you will.
Can't anybody assist me for a plus 2, 2, 2, 2?
I'm still singing.
All right, an 8.
So that's a
Oh, well, no, you're down. You're singing. You're serenading the two centaur ladies down the riverbank.
yeah.
Yeah, you're out of range.
Nobody else can Beltran. Come on now.
My bluff is not that great. Diplomacy, I'm pretty good with, but
Maybe you could pick up on what I'm trying to do and see I'm failing miserably and carry on the charade. Wink, wink, big winks, big llama winks, you know.
Oh, he did. So it got her to a 10. All right. Well, they definitely heard you. You're not sure if they believed you, though.
All right. Planted a seed of doubt.Maybe.
All right. It's getting close to time for the auction, and you see out of here came. Hold on. Hold everything.
hey, Les, is this higher ground than this?
No, not really. That's just an old walkway. It's not like a ramp.
Okay.
If that's what you're thinking. Okay. So, in a few moments, maybe 10 minutes before the auction is supposed to start, another guy, you hear this guy knock on the door again, and this time it opens, and another guy comes out. And together, they come down the stairs. They knock on the door, and you hear it lock again behind them. And they come down the stairs, and they come over to here, and in this bigger building right here, they pull out and roll out a big wooden table, and they put it up and you were right, they were going to do it right there in the middle of that area right there. And then they go back up to the doorway, and the one guy who's been hold on a second. The one guy who's been up there a little bit says that you've seen before. He says the auction's going to start in 10 minutes, and then the other guy goes back into that house. And this guy resumes his position, but they put up that thing. In response to this, you see these guys, the lion guys, begin kind of coming up into this area right here and sort of crowding around over by the table. So there's quite a crew of these guys, and they make a fairly big production about bringing out their lions as well, which this guy has on. So there's this one guy over here. He has both lions on sort of leashes, and when they see the centaurs, they're both like they're growling and making noise and that kind of thing.
I was going to go back to summoning his Eidolon, and it takes a minute to do that. So.
Hey, Gordon, what flavor of summoner are you?
Say that again, Mike?
What flavor of summoner are you?
Oh, hang on, it's a weird name. Let me see. It's called a synthesist.
Okay.
Okay, so they come up there, and then these guys sort of move forward and everybody's sort of gathering around. These guys kind of hang back, waging these guys, and they're kind of like watching sort of from the sidelines. But these guys come out, and then ultimately Phineas gets back with the centaurs, and they come around sort of over to here, sort of gathering around. Where are you guys going to set up? Like over in here, maybe?
Gonna hang out near the women, and I'm going to fascinate the lions.
They would not take kindly to you casting spells at these guys.
I don't have to cast a spell.
All right, then this guy over here, this guy in the middle who you've seen before, yells out to you, "Hey, clam up over there. Pipe down, chorus boy. You're disturbing my cats."
What a dick.
Thank you. But that doesn't mean we need any more music. Business time. Throttle back, Rick Springfield.
Starts whispering, "I have the tiger."
What about what the rest of you? Are you getting into any sort of position, or
they're in position.
What about you, Beltran?
I'm staying right there.
All right, and Fiat, are you gonna? I would probably. She's right there, and she's giving you dirty looks the whole time you come around there. So,
Am I still up on the wall?
No, John got you down.
Thank you, John. Okay, great. I probably could have climbed down. I'm a thief, but thank you. All right, so I will go. I'm a real short guy. I'm real small. I'm used to not being noticed.
Okay.
Jump up on the lion. That'll give you a good seat.
Yeah.
Where are the lions? Let's see.
They're right here. One there, and one here, and they're
Gotcha.
both being held on. They're both on chains held by this guy. You suspect that he's some sort of beastmaster, or he's their keeper, or something like that, because he was the guy. And Bjorn, you'll recognize he was the guy who brought the lion out before.
Great. Is this right here? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to indicate a place on the map.
You push and hold the mouse,
Ah.
left button mouse in it.
Right
Yeah, there you go.
Right there.
Yeah, that's an open building. It's one of the. It's there are several of these sort of like busted up stone buildings in there. That's one of them.
Great.
Nobody's in it. That's where they had they had the table stored in there.
Gotcha. What's this place right here? What's there?
It's like a little round room. It's hold on, let me move the things to see if it's not a tower or anything. It's just a little room.
Okay, good. Great.
See if there's it's got some holes in it.
Where's
great.
Fiat? I'd like to let him know that I'm thinking about casting invisibility on him.
Okay. Well, that would be fine, because my thought is if something goes down, if I take out the beast master, then the lions would would be free agents and no longer necessarily against us.
Isn't Beastmaster Raban the pseudonym for?
Yes. But anyway, I would love to be in the visible.
Okay. So Phineas, do you want to go back through there and make him invisible first?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
No worries. We're gonna all right, so we're gonna put an eyeball on you so that everybody knows you're invisible. I'm assuming it's regular invisibility. So the first moment that it lasts for how long?
A long time.
1 minute per level.
All right. And what level are you, Phineas? 7th level. So 7 minutes. So you're gonna want to do it right before this happens. So yeah, okay. So Fiat, you are invisible, and I'm assuming that you post up in right here.
Correct. Right.
Okay. And then Phineas, you return to that spot. What about the rest of you? Bjorn, Lama, John, you guys are going to stand back there in between the male centaur and the lion?
I'm good with that.
My computer crapped out, so I missed a little bit of what's going on. So everybody's just piling around for the beginning of the auction.
Yep.
And
I
so
think
right,
Llama and Bjorn need to change places.
Yeah, I just want to stay. That's fine. Bjorn can go in front of me. I just want to stay.
Yeah, you need to be close so you can clobber stuff, but
Well, I want to stay close to my new friend, and I want to make sure that I'm kind of between him and the lion,
Yep.
as per the promise.
Well, do you want to? I mean, Bjorn, you could go over there by Wage and the 2 archers that you guys run into, the guys from House Desaren, who are kind of like over here by this building right over here. But there's some space over there if you want to get over there. Kind of splits the party a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
it does.
well, I'm wondering if it would be better, because Llama's got this lion, but there's these guys down here, but and we've got Beltran over here. What we don't have is anybody over here amongst this group. And it's not, I don't know if it's really splitting the party so much, because it's a pretty close quarters area anyway, as it is making sure that we have somebody sort of available to address.
And tactically, that's a horrible spot where Bjorn's at right now. He can be surrounded on
All
four sides,
sides.
pretty much.
Although he does offer.
That's not a bad thing for Bjorn, though.
Well, yeah.
Yes,
and the
Bjorn's
other
cause-
thing is I'm here next to the 2 archers. So
Oh,
if they try to fire arrows, even if it's not at me, it's an attack of
No,
opportunity.
those 2 archers are on our side.
Those guys, that's Wage and the 2 guys from House Desaren, the guys that you met at that broken broken pillars.
Okay. So
They're on your side. In fact, they're looking at you like, what's the plan, boss?
So
Aren't
what would
These
like
guys are archers too, aren't they? Up
Yeah,
here?
those guys have bows too.
so
2
like
of them
I
have
said,
bows, 2 of them have battle axes.
I missed part of it. So would this be the better spot for me?
Those are bad guys over there.
I don't care.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I'm saying. Would this be the better spot for me?
That or down here with all the other side of the badass lion guys.
Okay. Well, what about here?
Okay.
Does that seem okay?
And you can go wherever you need to.
Yeah, it gives us some good flanking options too.
Well, right. And if these guys up here in the north decide to start some stuff, I'm not too far from them. Because remember, my movement is pretty limited too. But I could, without too much trouble, get up here to interrupt their archers or whatever's going on.
Hey, Les, what's the guy without the hit point?
He's probably the auctioneer.
No, he's just the leader of these guys. He doesn't look like he's a like somebody who fights. More like a merchant. He doesn't have any weapons on him.
Well, maybe we should split up our buddies with the our archers. You know, if they just asked you what the plan was, boss, maybe we should split these guys up.
That's a good spot for them where they're at. They can shoot arrows.
Both of them together?
Let's get them on rooftops.
Well, they're not gonna
There are no roofs.
Yeah.
Except for that one building.
Anyway.
Oh.
So
what are all those buildings?
Unless the party has an issue with it, I think that this is probably a decent spot for me from what I know now.
I would split up those 3 archers, but other than that.
Well, and they're looking to me for direction, so.
Is there 3 archers, 2 archers, and Wade? Does Wade have bow and arrow too?
Yeah, is this guy an archer?
Which guy? Show me
This
again.
guy?
Wade?
No, he's not an archer. He has a longsword.
Okay, so. But we don't want our archers to be like here because then they're up against this guy.
I was thinking more back behind myself and John Heil.
I mean, they're perfect
I
where
don't
they're
know.
at.
That's fine.
They've got a shot on anybody in this area where they're at.
It just seems so congested, but that's fine. Llama's ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, Les.
Yep.
This is a solid wall right here, right?
Yes.
If I take a quick step to right here, there's very few people that can see me.
Correct. The female, Celine the centaur, probably the dude centaur, Absinthius, and maybe, that'd probably be it.
Okay.
What about these people?
As I see these,
There's a
as I
wall
hear
right
these
there.
guys, as I hear these guys start coming out, I'm going to step over here
Mm-hmm.
and cast Bless since it lasts for 7 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm considering my party and the 3 centaurs as allies.
Okay. So you cast bless on everybody. All those people, I mean. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All
then I'm
right.
going to step
Will the
back to right
centaurs
here.
know that happened? Will the centaurs know that happened?
A
Yes,
couple
they
of them
would.
saw me. And I
Yeah,
probably
they-
would have, if she saw me, I probably would have winked at her right before I did it.
Cool.
And she's like, "Don't wink at me,
They'd feel a little
perverts."
more powerful.
Just don't read any poetry.
Yeah. I'll talk to her. I'll do that all day long. I'm not writing her any poetry though.
Why
All right.
is every male in my party trying to pick up a centaur?
I'm trying to pick them
Because they're
up.
hot.
I'm just trying to let them know that I'm helping them out.
Sorry.
I'm surrounded by centaurs right now, so I kind of want them to be friendly to me. Because I wouldn't last long if they decided not to be friendly to me.
All right.
Okay. Why is everybody trying to pick up a centaur? Because they're hot.
Yes.
Okay.
And the
Just,
network is not.
just trying to make sure that I have it right for Twitter later. Okay, so pretty soon you see, these doors open, the 2 guys come down to the thing, and this enormous dude comes out of the doorway, sort of squeezes through, and he has, hold on a second. He has in his hands what looks to be in his hands a smallish chest, which he comes down the stairs. Boom, boom, boom. These guys kind of go down this way and down into here, and this guy follows. So John, you can see it, Lama, you guys can see it. Everybody sort of turns to look as this guy sort of stomps down there. He's huge. And then behind him, you can see another little, a little human guy, sort of dressed in sort of weird clothes, which you suspect might be this Jester that you guys have been handling. But he's walking behind this guy who's carrying this chest. They go all the way around to Bjorn, where you are.
Do we know what that guy is carrying the chest?
It's hard to tell. He looks like a human, but he looks kind of like hulked out. So you see, so these guys sort of move out of the way as these guys are like coming through. The archers behind you, Bjorn, are sort of move out of the way so these guys can get to the thing. So these guys come out over here and they come into the area and they sort of post up in these areas. This guy is as kind of, So, Bjorn, give me a perception check real quick. And Phineas, give me a perception check, too.
Okay.
Okay. Bjorn, I'm going to assume you're going to just step aside to the left there to get out of this guy's way.
Yeah. I'll make room. Well.
All right.
Where's the alt thing?
Phineas, did you give me your perception check?
Coming right now. 24.
Okay. When you see the big dude come walking up that hall, and so the big guy puts the chest onto the table, and the littler dude from behind him kind of scoots around and kind of jumps up on the table, and he's like, "Hello, everyone, and welcome to the auction." Phineas, you see something very strange. You're looking down this hallway, and when this big guy passes Wage, you see him sort of like look at him, and he kind of looks up at the guy. And you see him mouth the words, "Brother, what happened to you?" The guy doesn't even seem to notice.
The big guy?
The big guy doesn't even seem to notice him. But you see Wage, and he's got his hand on his sword, but he's obviously flummoxed by this because he's like, "Brother, what are you doing?"
Who's Wage?
That's this guy. That's the guy you guys met who from House to Saren.
Yeah, and we knew that his brother was taken along by this, so apparently that's him now.
Yeah. Sabas didn't put any reaction. He kind of comes around and he's like, "Hello, everyone, and welcome to the auction. I'm very pleased to see all of you. Good to see you again." He waves to the guy over there by the gate, and who doffs his hat. He's like, "Oh, and the centaur contingent is here. Excellent, excellent. And those of you from the what's the name of their brew? I think Lion Busters or something like that.
Lion Hearts or...
Yeah, the Lion Hearts. I see, made it in time. Excellent, excellent. And a new group, a large group that I'm not entirely sure from where. Please, good man, tell me. And he's talking to Phineas at this point. Tell me, where are you from, and how did you hear about our little auction?
Oh, well, we were at the tavern. We're the Bad News Bears. And, we're a traveling vaudeville team. And we were looking for a secondhand shop to buy costumes. And we heard there was an auction, and, well, my shoes are almost worn out, and I need a costume for our upcoming production. Oh, hello.
Okay. Well, so you say that, and as you're saying that, his eyes begin to look more curiouser and curiouser.
I guess I'd better put my fly up.
And I do a quick bluff check.
Me?
Yeah, because you're bluffing the dude.
I'm not bluffing him much. All right. So I've got my inspire competence. What other things are going on?
Well, I don't think you're. I think that's it. Bless. You've got bless.
You have bless.
I didn't sneeze.
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay.
11.
Mama's shaking her head.
Okay. Sabas' face kind of grows curious and curiouser as you continue on with your story, and he sees the loot on your back, And he just sort of says, well, I'm afraid to say this is a closed auction, my friend. Only people that I know of and that I'm familiar with. No offense to you personally, but, we do a very different sort of business here than you're probably used to. And I assure you, I have no costumes for sale. So if you and yours can please depart, we can commence with the business. And so these guys, the Lionhearts over here, are sort of like looking at you like, off you go then, jackasses. And these guys are like, oh, I wonder what's going on. At which
We're here
point,
with the centaurs.
You see Wage come out and sort of say, and he sort of like hits the guy and goes, brother, what are you doing? And he looks over at Sabas, and you see Sabas kind of whirl around. And he says, Sabas, what have you done here? And you see Sabas go, Wage? What are you doing here? And he says, you there! Grab him! And he says to the big guy. And at that point, the big guy reaches around and just sort of like grabs Wage by the throat, completely unexpectedly, and begins to lift him up off the air. And you see Wage sort of like, and his feet are probably at this point 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground as this guy's holding them up. The rest of the Lionhearts seem to find this amusing. The Centaurs are like, this isn't the kind of auction we thought it would be. These guys are like, they're pulling their, they've got arrows out, and they're, waiting to see what happens next. But, and it looks like Sabas is casting some sort of spell.
Which one is Sabas? Is that the Jester? I'm sorry.
That's the Jester.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Jester and
Jester.
Sabas are the same. Then he's standing on top of the table right now. He looks like he's casting some sort of spell.
Lama's gonna grab Phineas and basically take a 5-foot step forward, grab Phineas, and say, you just need to hush. You've caused enough problems today, little brother. And
If
pull
I
him
had a
back.
tail, it would be between my legs.
And I'm pulling him backwards,
All right, so you're pulling him away.
like he's the idiot in the crowd, and I'm just whispering "hush" as I pull him back and throw him behind me.
Bjorn, you've got a front row seat. This guy looks like he's choking the life out of Wage.
Yeah.
And he's just holding him up. So you're just standing there. You're just like, okay, whatever.
Well, no. Well, this is a surprise round.
You're behind me. now,
Kind
Phineas.
of. We may end up in initiative pretty quickly here.
Yeah, it
Behind
seems
me
like
now,
it.
Phineas.
So, yeah, this is going to go bad quickly. As a move action, can I draw my sword and shield or just one?
You can do both.
Then I'm going to do both. And then
Okay.
this is his brother. So I'm
Well,
going to try.
Yeah, he seems like he called him brother, but he was obviously like, what happened to you?
Yeah. So I'm going to try to shield bash the giant in the knee.
Okay.
Not necessarily aimed, whatever, but I'm going to try to hit him and get him to let go of the other guy.
All right, so you're gonna just step. You
Try to knock
pull
the other
your
guy loose, I guess.
sword and just like bang.
Yeah, and I don't have to step. I'm right next to him, and I have flanking thanks to the archer behind him, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, so shield bash. 29 and 13.
Okay.
Because I get
All
the
right.
2 each.
All right. So you 13 damage. You say?
No, it's a 29 for the first strike.
Okay.
For 7 damage.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And it's a 13 for the second strike for 9.
All right.
I doubt that'll hit, but
That won't hit. Yeah. So you get him. Oh, you get him right in the knee for 11 damage. Okay. Hold on a second. So he wasn't expecting that. So you kind of reach out and you actually kind of like go under Wage and just like you hit his knee right at the angle with the edge of your shield, and you could see this guy like buckle a little bit. Let me do a quick reflex check. See if he even holds on to the dude. All right, hold on.
I like how the background music is so pleasant. Gives me a sense of comfort.
It's nice, isn't it? So 14, he does. You see Wage sort of swing away as this guy pivots, and he kind of looks down at you, and he rears back his fist to sort of like punch you. You can see his hand is covered in like a big metal gauntlet with spikes on it. So he rears back to hit you. And
I'm shooting, by the way.
This would be the moment that we roll for initiative. So Lama and Phineas. So Lama, you're putting Phineas. I think Fiat, Heil, and Beltran would get one surprise action because it's all happening very fast.
So if he's casting a spell, I'm shooting the dude on the table.
Looks like he's casting a spell.
I'm trying to interrupt the spell is what I'm trying to do.
So how are you threading the needle between these two centaurs? All right, he's still gonna get cover though.
They can probably get cover, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cover there too. I think it's -4.
Can't he move some and break some of that cover?
Theoretically, if you got here, if you like took a 5-foot step over to there,
That's
I
free.
mean,
So
yeah, and sort of get in between them. Yeah, you get sort of line of sight. I would reduce that to -2.
okay. So this number is going to be at +2 to hit.
Okay. So 20.
And it's just the first arrow. It's not. I'm not doing 2.
Right. Okay. So 20 to hit. That's gonna miss.
Even flat-footed.
Let me check.
Surprise round.
It is. So he loses 2. So it is exactly 20. You say 20 you got?
Yep.
All right. So he does. Yeah, the arrow does go in. Ugh!
So he takes a 7 damage, but then he has to roll a concentration check with all the rules with 7 damage to still cast the spell.
All right, concentration. So concentration, I see his concentration score, so he has to roll that right now. So the concentration is the amount of damage. It's D10 plus the amount of damage?
I'm trying to remember.
I think it is.
Look that up real quick.
Okay.
Okay, my stuff's not loading. Here we go. DC is equal to 10 plus the damage taken plus the level of the spell.
Okay, so he was going to cast Suggestion. So that's a 2nd level spell. So 10 plus the damage taken, which is 7, plus the level of the spell, which is 2. That's a DC 19.
Yep.
He made it.
Okay.
All right. So he looks back at you, and we continue on with the rest of it. So John, Heil, and Fiat, you guys have one action that you guys can do something. Fiat, you're invisible. John, you're standing right there next to Lama, and you've got a lion in front of you. And you don't know that Fiat's in that hole, in that building right next to you.
All right. John?
I'm just going to move to there.
Okay.
So you run past Lama and past the lion into that middle area?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Fiat, what about you?
You're in your Eidolon form, right? You're not just human?
Yes, I am.
You're changing back into your Eidolon farm?
You
Yep.
did already.
Yeah, I did that
Okay.
before the auction started.
Ah, okay. I didn't know.
All right. I will now recite my poem. No.
No!
You know, I actually wrote a
A horrible poem?
poem
I
for.
think you lose your invisibility if you recite that poetry.
Yeah. That's very offensive.
Definitely an attack. Yeah.
There once was a centaur from Nantucket.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Carry it in a very long bucket.
So the beautiful is we really don't know what the poem said, but it was enough to offend a centaur woman. So
Actually, you know, the poem is on a piece of paper from my notebook drifting around here somewhere. I dropped it. It got lost when I got kicked up on the wall. It's here somewhere. So, but question: what are the lions doing, and what is the beast guy doing?
So he's not doing much in the way of anything right now except for holding onto those chains. Now the lions are starting to get a little excited because they're seeing people moving around. They saw Bjorn sort of clonk into this guy. They saw, heard an arrow sort of hit into Sabas, the Jester, and they're sort of getting excited there because there's the smell of blood is now in the air.
Okay, I see.
They haven't broken away from the guy. Still holding onto those chains.
Okay, well, I'm in a very, very sweet spot to do an excellent sneak attack on Beast Guy.
Yep.
I don't want to waste that. Thing is, Beast Guy isn't obviously ostensibly hostile right now.
Oh, you become visible as soon as you attack.
Yeah, you could become visible as soon as you attack. Now he is not. Yeah, he's flat. Well, if you're saying he's not actively hostile, that's correct. He's essentially, from an armor class standpoint, flat-footed.
Right, but see, if he's not hostile toward me or my friends or my lovely Celine, then I don't want to stab him.
Okay, so you're gonna hang back. He hasn't done anything against anybody of your friends.
Okay, you know what? Right now I'm not in a place to really do anything effective except sneak attack Beast Guy. So I'm gonna wait.
Okay, so we're gonna wait. All right, cool. So that is, I think, everybody who has a surprise action. So let's roll for initiative. I gotta dig out the.
Really?
I forgot to highlight myself, so I didn't get put in.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get rid of all these.
Sorry about that.
All right, here we go. Is that Lamb? Is that you?
Yeah, I'm 10. I'm 10. Hyle's 22.
All right.
You just gotta click on
All right. Bjorn, you got a 24.
24.08.
Okay. It's for resolving ties.
How is it generated?
That's what his plus is.
It's just part of the formula.
So I don't have a lot of pluses with a .01.
Who the heck are you, Phineas? Oh, you got dragged back out of the way.
I got an 18.
Yep. Punching them all in here. It's going to take a minute. Beltran got a 2305. He's in. No problem there. Bjorn, we got. Fiat, what did you get? What did you roll for initiative?
Rolling now. Let's see.
Okay.
I roll a d6.
D20 plus your
Dex bonus.
Dex
plus
yeah,
plus
your
improved initiative if you have it.
Okay. Dex is 18. So
Plus 4.
plus 4. Okay, sure.
Yep, you're plus 4.
Gotcha. Rolling now and sorry, hang on a minute. 9 plus 4.
Plus 4 is 13.
I don't know if it matters. I forgot to include my headband of mental prowess in my roll.
Does that affect it?
Well, I would have gotten a better score based on. Oh wait, that's dexterity, right? Then never mind.
Yep.
Okay, forget it.
All right, so All right, hold on. All right. Why is this doing this? Stop it. Okay. All right. What's his niche? 1 second.
And then the music turned sinister.
And 3. All right. So he is 3. Let's see if I can get this to work. Did that work? No, it didn't work. Okay. She's +6. 11. Sorry, I got a lot of guys here.
Sorry, I got a little guys here. A lot of guys. Tweet that. Said the okayest DM ever.
Sorry, I got a lot of guys here. All right. So these guys would get 9s. So I'm going to cluster these guys a little bit, just to make it easier on everybody. Sorry, it's taking so long. Okay, Jester, still him. All right, talk amongst yourselves.
I'm still trying to hear what they're saying in the market.
I wish I could find my poem. It was a masterpiece.
A masterpiece of trouble.
And so in the future, if you ever want to enrage Centaur, you have the poem just for the job.
Well, it's on a piece of paper around here somewhere.
Was it the poem, or did you give it on vellum made of horsehide?
It's papyrus.
Oh, then never mind.
All right, I think that is everyone. Let me sort them.
I think he used the term buxom. And even Centaur women don't like being called fat.
I think he said, "Why the long face?" All right, so let's start. First up is the Lions. They are getting more excited now that we're in initiative, but the guys still sort of got their chains. He's holding them back, so they will not do anything this round. Bjorn, you are up, and then Beltran.
Okay, so the big guy still has Wage by the throat.
He does.
All right, so then I'm going to attack with the longsword.
Okay.
32. And the second swing doesn't hit. So 32 for 14 points of damage.
Okay, so
again, the idea is to try to get him to let go of Wage.
John, what was your initiative? Do you remember?
I don't, but I can look it up. Hang on. 22.
22. All right, let's get you back in the game here. Gotta get some game. What the hell was that? All right, so yeah, first one is a hit. 14 points of damage. So you slash him right across that same knee, and he lets out a bellow and drops Wage at your feet. He lands sort of here, and you can see him sort of like, pull up this thing. It's basically like a glove that has like big pieces of metal tied to it or strapped to it somehow, and he looks like he's going to try and punch you with it at some point.
Who's this, the giant or Wage?
The giant. The Wage lands on his ass. He's prone. He falls down on the thing. He's like, "Oh, Baran, why would you do such a thing?"
Okay.
And he yells, and you hear also Wage yell out, "Boys, don't hurt him! He's not in his right mind! Kill the Jester!"
I think we found the club.
The what?
The club, the the cursed item.
I don't know. Potentially. Beltran, you're up. I mean, I actually do know, so I can't tell you. So you see that Jester still has the spell, but he's looking around. He's looking at you guys, and he suddenly realizes that he's surrounded by people. So you're not sure what he's up to, but
can you throw a 40-foot radius on me?
Yes, I can, but I don't want to.
Kyle has reach too, Les. He is threatening where he's at.
He has reach? Okay. Cool.
Don't worry, it's not black tentacles.
Oh, I'm banning that spell.
That's
Why
8
isn't it black tentacles?
Crashing a little bit here. Sorry about that. Here we go. Why won't you do what I want you to do? Hold on, I'm gonna
I ask my DM that same question all the time.
All right, I'm refreshing real quick. Hold on a second. I think I got too many guys on this. My computer is getting all shitty.
Oh yeah, thin it out a little bit. Have some of them run.
Well, I'm hoping that you guys will do that for me.
Run in fear.
Actually, Les, I don't.
2 seconds.
Never mind. It doesn't matter.
No, it's okay.
I just did a rubber band, the measuring thing.
Okay.
Everyone on this battlefield right now was within 40 feet of me.
Okay.
So I'm casting prayer, which gives everyone an additional +1 to all their rolls.
Okay.
They got one from Les and one from prayer, and it gives all of your guys Les a -1 to everything they do.
So, so can you choose who this affects, or is it everybody but you?
What's that?
I mean, so can you choose whom the prayer penalizes and who it doesn't?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever I say is an ally, which right now I'm considering my party, which includes these 2 archers over here.
Right.
The 2 guys, or the 3 guys that came with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider that part of our party, and I'm doing the same thing with the centaurs.
Okay, so the centaurs are part of your group now. So everybody else gets penalized. Okay.
Everyone else is -1 to everything.
All right, perfect. Okay, great. Excellent spell use, my good man. You gonna move it all, or is that it for you? Oh wait, is there a save?
No.
No save for prayer? Okay.
No.
It's more of an area of effect. Okay. Beltran, you gonna move it all?
Beltran has moved away from his computer. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm not moving. I'm not moving
cool.
where I'm at.
All right, John Heil, you are up. So where are? Oh, you're right. You're right there. I mean, you're within. If you've got reach, you're within range of Zabas. You're also standing next to a lion, which is an interesting place to be. Also, you can attack that big centaur, that big male centaur right next to Lama.
Lion's not loose yet, right?
The lions are still chained up. They're still held by but they are getting cranked. Those lions are starting to get pretty excited. They're roaring, they're making noise, they're clawing at the ground.
And I'm fumbling.
All right, so I confirmed it. Who are you attacking?
Sabas.
All right. So what were you using your
Bite.
you were going to try and bite him. Now that you don't have reach on, do you?
Yeah, I do. That's an Eidolon ability.
You have reach on bite. Okay.
Yeah, Eidolons you can basically build whatever you want. They give you like Lego blocks, and you just pretty much tack things on. So like you can give reach to bite, you can give reach to claws, all kinds of weird stuff.
Okay. All right. So the fumble is caught your attack. The target may attempt to trip, bull rush, or overrun you as a free action without causing an attack of opportunity. So, well, you can't overrun you or bull rush you without jumping off the table, which he doesn't want to do. So he's going to try and trip you. Although I'm not entirely sure how it worked, but it's the only one that has even the possibility of working, so that's what he's going to do. Maybe grab your tongue and spin you around. That kind of. His CMB is +7. What is your CMD?
18.
18. He missed. He did not trip you, so no, nothing happened. You could tell that he tried to do something to you.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so
still
that's...
positive. We're not dying yet.
Yeah, that's John. Now, Baran is up. He takes a big swing at Bjorn. In fact, he takes 2 swings. He swings once and then comes back with a really quick backhand with that same sort of spiked glove. The first attack, is a 26.
-1 for the prayer, and he misses.
-1. And that misses. All right, the next one is a 10. -1 is 9, so that's another miss too. So 2 big swings, although one came close, yeah? Maybe 5?
Not really.
Not really, okay. So he just takes some big swings and begins to sort of move forward. He looks like he may try to grab you next round. All right, Phineas.
I am going to sing Inspire Courage.
All right, so you're Inspire Courage in the yellow region. What else are you doing? Are you moving at all or anything like that?
That's +2 to all combat stuff, right?
Yes. +2 to hit and +2 to damage.
So now everyone's +4 to hit and +3 to damage then.
Wouldn't it be +5 to hit? Bless, prayer.
Bless gets 1, prayer gets 1.
I thought prayer got 2.
No.
Prayer.
Well,
Okay.
it
Depends on your level. Yeah.
Right now it doesn't. So yeah, everyone's right now +4 to hit and +3 to damage.
Okay. Including your allies, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is that it for you, Phineas?
I'm going to run my fingers through the mane of the...
That's the male one.
Well, then never mind.
Phineas isn't picky.
This is going to get really interesting.
It's all good.
He throws his mane about, draws his bow, and fires. So he's going to actually fire at the big guy that just tried to attack Bjorn. He's going to fire 2 arrows, and he's at +4 based on the bonuses.
Yeah.
All right, first arrow. Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
Sweet Jesus.
That's a
Plus
crit.
21.
And the next arrow is, hold on, not a confirmed fumble. He just misses. But the first one is a confirmed crit with a ranged weapon. All right, this is good. Hamstring. The arrow takes him in the back of the leg and cuts his Achilles tendon. He gets max damage plus bonus damage, 1d3 dex, and is knocked prone. So the big guy goes down. That's why the second arrow missed, is because it entered the space. He fell before he could get the arrow out. So he falls down on the ground. He takes, first of all, max damage for this guy is 13 plus 5. Oops, went the wrong way. Oh, sorry. That's 11, so 24 points of damage, and hold on. 2 points of dex damage as this guy falls to the ground with a grunt. And you hear Wade go, no, he's my brother! Don't hurt him! But he takes a ton of damage anyway. I will mark that damage as soon as
He's
this
down, he won't
works.
take any more damage.
All right, there you go. Boom. All right, so that's him. Next up are the Lionhearts. So at this point, you see this guy move forward sort of surreptitiously. These guys go back. Both of these guys go back this way. They are not interested in a fight. But this guy is doing all that he can to hold on to these lions. And at this point, he fails and lets them go. So this lion runs up to John and attacks. This lion runs over to Bjorn and attacks. All right, so let's see what the lions do.
Bad kitty.
I thought the Lions had their own initiative.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so they just are off the leash at this point. Good point.
Off the leash. Off the
They are
hook.
off the leash. So those guys do that. This guy, John, give me a quick perception check. $25. You see this guy here of the Lionhearts, looks like he is making for the. He's just sort of sidling up, sort
Got
of.
to steal the stuff.
Yeah, it looks like he might be making a move on the chest, which is sitting on the table. All right, now it's Saba's turn. So
Reaction.
so-
Hal's going to say, "Back off."
to that guy.
Yeah.
All right, you see him sort of look over at you, and then he kind of like sort of squints, and he continues moving towards the table. Sabas is looking at Beltran through the thing, and so you see him. He had this. So the spell he had going is suggestion, and he's going to go ahead and cast that. Except for he's going to change targets and cast it at Beltran, and you hear sort of through this almost like audible tunnel kind of go through there, and he's like, "You throw down your weapons and run out that hole in the wall."
Less than he chose to try to trip Al. Should he do another concentration check since he acted?
No, it was an attack of opportunity. It was a free action
Oh, it was a free. Yeah, okay.
because of your fumble. So he cast suggestion at Beltran, and it's a will save DC 18.
Come on there, Mike.
This will be at +3. That 2. Is it 2 or 3?
2, I think.
Okay. I'll button go.
16 did not, or did you not aid?
+2 is 18.
Okay, so you did not add that in?
No.
Okay, so that's 18. You feel this like you hear sort of like almost in sort of like all the other sound sort of goes away, and you hear Sabas's voice go, "You should drop your weapons and head out that way." And you're like, at first you're like, well, that seems like, on reflection, that seems
Sounds like a good idea.
but then you're like, no, wait a second, I'm in the middle of this battle, and you see Sabas just go, and in anger as he sees that his spell has failed, and he begins casting another. Fiat, what are you up to?
Okay. If the lions are off the leash and
They are.
attacking my friends, Beastmaster gets a short sword in the kidney.
All right, sounds good. Go for it.
So let's see. I got sneak attack.
But you still got to hit.
All right, hold on.
But he is flat-footed. I will grant you that.
Let me find my. Let's see. I roll a D. 20.
D20 plus your attack bonus. So 13 plus what's your attack? Base attack is +4. So hold on, wait. Would you roll? 13 plus 4 plus 2 is 19. His flat-footed AC is 16, so that is a hit. So you got him right in the back. Now you become invisible, and the guy looks around. He's like, "Oh, my back!" And you, as you stabbed him, but you do get sneak attack damage on this, which I think at your level is what, 2 or 3d6.
Let's see.
What level rogue are you?
He is a
Level 4.
Fourth level rogue.
4.
2.
2d6
So 2d6
extra. So,
plus whatever the weapon damage is.
so it's a short sword. So it is d4 plus 1 plus 2d6.
Short sword plus 1.
Plus inspired courage.
Plus the 3 damage that we get from the spells and the inspire courage.
Okay.
Now you don't get extra damage from inspire courage.
Yeah, you do.
You do?
Yes, plus 2.
Sounds like cheating. All right, so
It gives you damage too.
d4 plus 1 plus 2d6 plus
Actually,
4?
It's d4 plus 4 plus 2d6.
Why?
He gets the 1, and then he gets 1 from prayer and 2 from inspire courage.
Oh, yeah, I was adding that at the end.
Okay, so what should I roll?
All right, your first roll is 1d4 plus 4.
Okay. 1 plus 4.
So 5 points there, and now you roll 2d6.
Okay.
And you can use the advanced roll to sort of add those bonuses in after, beforehand. 2d6, so 12. So max damage on that. So 5 plus 12, 17 points of damage, which is a pretty solid hit. But these guys are not pushovers, so he is definitely not down yet. But that's a solid hit. Now you withdraw your thing back in the thing, and you're like, ha ha! As the guy whirls around, he's like, where did you come from?
Take that.
Nice. Next up is the other centaur. So this centaur.
You need to remove the eyeball. He's no longer invisible, right?
He's no longer invisible. That's correct. Okay, let me take that. Max damage on sneak attack. That's nicely done. All right, so this centaur, you see her pull what is a very stout boar spear, and you see her charge through here, sort of bull rush through, as she is trying to attack Sabas with a sort of a charge, a lunge. So she gets. Hold on a second. All right. Charge plus 2, and she gets bonuses from you guys, right?
Yeah, every one of us is plus 4 to attack and plus 3 damage.
Okay. So she's going to do a couple of things first. Hold on, I got to check on something. What is her? Ooh, shit. Okay. CMB. All right. So first things first is she is going to do a drive-by. Yeah. So you see her sort of start up, and this guy goes flying backwards onto, and he falls prone too, as she blows by him in a gallop. She runs forward the short time and just charges the guy and tries to stab him, essentially lance him on a charge with this really thick spear that she's got, which she does. She hits him, and let's do that damage. Hold on a second. These guys suddenly, you guys are saying, it's good that we made friends with these guys.
Good thing we got perverse in the party. See, no one ever said that about Balthazar.
She hits Sabas for 17 points of damage. He goes flying backwards off the table and lands on top of his friend Baran, also prone.
Hello, pretty.
Hold on a second. All right, and leaving the chest sitting in the middle of the table, essentially unguarded.
Ooh, really?
The other one, this one, and only Beltran, you'll see that this one comes charging around this way and is going through here. So she'll move to there. She also has that hammer out, which she's whirling around her head. Beltran, give me a quick perception check. So before she takes off, you hear her start to gallop. You look around, and you see the head of that hammer is glowing.
Okay.
Brightly as she takes off around the way. Lama, you're up.
First hit on the lion that's attacking John Heil.
Ooh, that's a hit.
Second hit.
Also a hit.
And damage would be...
Ooh, geez Louise, 44 points?
Ouch.
Yep.
All right, you put down the lion.
I'm going to say +3 for each hit.
Boom! You take that lion out. You just reach up behind him, and your sword comes down in the middle of its back. It lets out a and falls over, and you basically severed its spinal cord. It falls over and is just bleeding all over the place.
Llama did go into a rage as a free, action before that happened.
Yep.
She is raging.
You hear this guy yell out, "No! Not my lions!"
I look over at him and smile.
You're next.
All right, so what are those guys gonna do? You hear this guy, the guy who's non-baby, he's like, "Boys, get the chest!" And you see these guys run up and try to grab the chest. So these two guys run up. This guy goes over here and punches this guy in the face, or tries to as hard as he can. So hold on a second. He hasn't drawn a weapon. He's punching him. And he hits him, connects really hard, and that guy takes 4 points of non-lethal. Or wait a second. Yeah, hold on, let me roll it. 2 points of non-lethal, and you can hear the smack.
I was going to take an attack of opportunity on anybody that touches that chest.
Okay. The closest guy is these two guys basically run up here and begin grabbing each handle to try and get it. So you're going to take an attack of opportunity? You had a planned action there?
Well, I mean, I'm in reach, so I can threaten the area if they.
Well, they don't really pass through a threatened square, and they're not passing out of it. So I don't know that would provoke, even though you have reach.
Well, no, I've got reach, so I have. Well, let me.
Yeah, they haven't done anything to provoke yet, really.
If they're trying to pick up a chest, wouldn't that provoke an attack of opportunity? I mean, they're basically exposing themselves, taking their hands out of action and trying to do an action.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing that, but it's not a combat maneuver. I'm trying to think of it would if you had sort of planned this, like if you did.
I mean, there's all kinds.
What
of
did you say? You said I'm watching the chest.
Yep.
Right? That's what you said last time. Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah, if you're watching it, we can assume that you were going to do something in case somebody did something. So this is exactly the sort of thing. So yeah, if you want, go ahead. But you can only reach this guy here because the table's in the way of the other guy. Ooh, that was the wrong dice.
Oh, all right.
Good roll though.
Let me see if I got the right. I don't even have the right thing. I don't know where the hell that came from. There we go.
23 is a hit. So what did you do? Did you bite him?
Yep.
Ooh.
Actually, no. I'm going to use a claw because I get bleed on that.
All right, so you're like, jeez Louise, 10 points?
+4 bleed.
+4 bleed. All right, so
That would be 13 points if you didn't add the pluses for the spells.
Oh, yeah. No, you did one.
No, I did.
Right.
It's in the sheet.
Oh, you did? Okay. So you get another +3 there. All right, so So yeah, that hits him hard, and you can see. I mean, you lay him open from the point of view of that exposed arm, and he's like, ah! And there's just blood just gushing out of this torn away. I mean, you just rip into like his bicep and his shoulder, and it's just bleeding profusely all over the place. He still feels like it. He takes around and he's like, switch with me, and they kind of like switch around to grab the thing. This guy reaches over and stomps on the guy's head, who's prone. Oh, and gets him as he's prone, and just you can see this like he stomps on him for 6 points of non-lethal damage. And that guy, you could hear him just like, oh. And those guys keep around. This guy is moving backwards out the door. He's like, come with me, boys! Grab the chest and come with me! The other lion runs up to Bjorn and tries to claw him in lion-esque fashion. Or bite him, actually. Yeah, he's going to try and bite you because he gets grab on that. So I don't know that it'll work. The bonuses are probably not going to be sufficient. But you never know. Sometimes the lions roll 20s. Oh, that's not one of them. So 23, I'm assuming, is not going to hit.
That's a miss.
All right, that lion is behind you, though, snarling and groveling around, and this guy continues to sort of make a way towards the thing. Bjorn, you're up.
I'm going to move to here.
Okay, there's a guy there. Can't really go in there.
No, it's on the table.
You're jumping on the table?
Yes.
Okay. I don't actually... All right.
It's within the move, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could get up there if you wanted to jump on the table, you could.
Yeah, and then
Sorry,
I'm going...
I didn't know you could jump.
Well, I can amble a little bit.
All right, so those guys on the other side both have their hands on the handles of the thing, and they're getting ready to take off. So
Yeah.
you jump on the table and
put my foot on the chest and swing at this guy.
okay.
Possible
Ooh,
crit for the first attack.
Yeah, let's see that.
15 for the second attack. So
All right, the 15 will miss. Oh, but
20.
that's a crit for the
So-
first attack.
okay.
So, do you want the double
Chart.
damage or charge? Okay, so that is a melee. That doesn't make any sense. Oh man! So, what's going on? Is the name of the fumble or the crit? Target suffers max plus bonus, and 1d4 hours of the target's memory is erased.
Okay, so max is 18 points.
Okay. Might be erasing this guy's memory permanently. And then you get bonus, which means you roll with all...
The roll was originally 17 points.
17. So
If you want to take the first roll.
how much is... so the total is 35? It's
Yeah.
35 points total?
Yeah.
And he loses his... So you hit him on the head with your sword.
Wait, that was-
late...
Yeah, 35. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
He lets go of the chest and it falls back to the ground. He staggers backward. He has a giant gash in his head, which is just pouring blood down his face, but he's still walking around. And you can see his eyes are just like, because it's just like, I mean, he just rang his bell so hard he didn't even know. He is grievously injured. That is frankly, from your vantage, you can see a little bit of exposed brain.
And as a free action, I'm going to tell the other individual, take your hand off the chest and hold.
He's like, fuck this, and he lets go of the chest. All right, Beltran, what do you do?
Yeah, him getting up and changed what I was going to do. No one's injured yet, are they? At least on my team.
No, there's a couple of people. So a couple of Samus's guys got non-lethal damage. Like the front gate guys were just like punching and kicking them. But Bjorn has hit a couple of people, and the centaur hit Samus. So Samus is down on the ground. Bjorn's up on the table. The big guy's up on the ground, although he's looking to try and get back up.
I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna make sure no one gets away. 2 on Sub Monster 3.
Okay.
To put D3 small air elementals over this way.
All right. Let me see if I can find any air elementals. Okay. I didn't know you could even do that.
The scroll I can.
You pulled out a scroll and did it?
Yep.
All right.
We get 3 of them.
All right, hold on. Do you know the
17 hit points.
17 hit points.
But I'd say just put like 1 there, 1 there. Basically, I'm making a wall behind that guy.
All right, hold on. Let me get him uploaded, and then. Oh my God! It's a giant one came instead. All right. So, how many hit points?
17, I believe.
Okay.
I'm double checking that right now.
All right. Seems like a lot, but okie dokie. And you want those to attack the centaurs, right?
Well, obviously, I mean.
All right. Where did you want them?
Basically,
materialize?
blocking the other guys from running out.
Okay, so you want them over by the gate. Now, obviously, some in this case is still a full round action. So you begin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
summoning.
Never mind. Never mind.
They will.
That's
you
this
don't-
round.
you-
I'm casting the spell.
You don't want to do this?
Well, I'm doing this, but it's not. They don't appear till next round.
Right, they don't appear. So I'm gonna just take them
We'll
off.
just keep them handy. But yeah.
Yep.
Nothing happens this round other than me casting the spell.
All right, perfect. John Heil.
I'm gonna cast grease. If you give me a 10-foot square.
Ooh, I love this spell. Where do you want it?
Who is this person?
That is one of the door guards from of Sabas's guys. He's one of Sabas's guys.
And how about this guy? He's prone because he got hit?
He got smashed out of the way by one of the centaurs when she charged Sabas. So she lowered her head and charged. He was too close and got bounced out of the way and knocked prone.
All right, I think I'm going to cover. Let's see. Can you see that? Is that showing?
Hold on.
From this corner to this corner.
Okay, so let me see if I get this right. Let me go ahead and draw this. So you want it, and it's a 10 footer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right there?
Right. Yep.
That's where you want it? Okay.
Yep.
So that's grease. So grease, I have to make, what's the save on this?
Hang on a second. Grease is a first level spell, so that is a 16.
16 reflex. All right. So let me go ahead and do that. So I've got 2 guys standing in there, and those other 2 guys are already prone, so I guess that really doesn't make too much of a difference. So it's just really for those guys. Ooh, he's up, and he's not. So the guy that that Bjorn just hit slips and falls, holding his, he was holding his head, sort of staggering around. That grease spell he wasn't even remotely prepared for. Boom, he went down like a ton of bricks. So you gonna move it all, or you gonna stay where you are?
I think no. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm gonna
Okay.
again want this guy to back off.
All right, back it off. He's looking at you, but he still doesn't. He doesn't seem to be retreating in any way. Big guy's turn. You hear Sabas yell, "Get us out of here!" And the big guy, sort of covered in grease and is, sort of on his legs and feet and bleeding from his knees and thighs, sort of grabs onto Sabas and begins crawling this way. Now he can crawl half his movement rate, which is 30, but he's crawling, so it's 15. So he basically drags Sabas as he crawls through here and out of the grease.
You'll say crawling provokes attack of opportunity.
Yeah, but from who?
This guy might hit Savas, the brother.
He's still a little freaked out, and he's a little injured too. So he's.
Would I get attack of opportunity from the table?
From the top? Yeah, I don't know. So you're on top of the table. You're standing with one foot on there. You just clouded this guy, and these guys are crawling away. They're on the ground. Longsword? You got a longsword?
Yeah. How tall is the table?
Oh, it's maybe 3-4 feet off the ground.
So yeah, I have a long sword. It's your
Yeah,
call.
I think you could get an attack of opportunity, but I need to know. I think that attack would only go against Savas because he's sort of on top. The guy is underneath him.
Yeah, he's the only one I want an attack of opportunity on.
All right, go ahead.
So take the first one.
29's a hit.
30 something for 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage. Okay.
Does 17 have the +3 damage figured in?
Oh no, so 20 points of damage.
Okay, 20 points of damage. So that you hear Savas like, Baron, hurry! Baron, hurry! We gotta get out of here! And you can see Baron is just like, kind of like elbowing around. He's got one hand on Savas' sort of the back of his coat, and he's crawling away. But that's what he does. Phineas, what are you doing?
Hang on, do the archers get an attack of opportunity?
No, it's only for melee.
Okay.
Yeah. And frankly they're still trying to figure out what to do next. They haven't heard from their boss yet. So the wage is still kind of like looking, he's still recovering from being, choked. So by his brother, who is somehow been changed in some way. So he's not entirely sure. It'll be around before he figures out what the heck he wants to do yet. Phineas, what about you?
I use prestidigitation to spool a thing of yarn in front of that lion.
Okay. All right. So prestidigitation. Can you make something out of nothing?
Well, I have.
Or do you have yarn?
Yeah. Doesn't
Why?
everyone? I spin yarns all the time.
Oh God! Really? Ow!
I would have to see that on your character sheet that you have yarn.
Oh, for God's sake! It's rope.
You're using rope. Okay, so you're using prestidigitation to throw your rope at it?
Well, no, to make the rope. Have you ever had a cat?
Yes.
All right, you know how you just twirl string around and they...
Yeah, and it goes berserk.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, so, okay. All right. Where are you putting the rope?
Basically, it appears in front of the lion and it starts flipping around like something very interesting and killable.
Okay, hold on a second.
Basically, I just...
create small objects, but they look crude and artificial. Okay, so you basically create the illusion of like a yarn-like rope, and I'm assuming right here?
Yeah, I'm just trying to distract the kitty so somebody can play with it.
All right, that'll do. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Well, I don't have a yarn thing, so anything that looks like yarn. So
Basically, the cat is not going to be paying attention. It's more hittable, right?
Well, it's going to be distracted. So it essentially, it's essentially what you're doing. This is going to be, from an effect standpoint, it's distracted. It's interested in this yarn, and essentially what it's going to do is it's going to work like a -2 to its attack rolls and a -2 to its AC. Because it's not paying attention to the right people.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, very cool. Great idea. I like it a lot. Excellent. So, you gonna move or anything with your move action, your remaining move action? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. Oh, you are gonna move. Okay, so you're gonna slip in behind those two centaurs, heading along that building wall. Did I got that right?
Muted yourself, Andrew, somehow.
Andrew, you there, buddy? You're muted. All right, we're going to assume that he...
yes, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm hiding behind the female centaur.
Oh, good plan. All right, so it's the male centaur's turn. He is going to go ahead and fire a couple of more arrows, but he's not entirely sure who he's going to fire at because he can't really see them over there.
You can see the lion.
Yeah, he can see the lion. He's going to fire at the lion, and the lion's AC is distracted by the thing, so it's down a little bit. So yeah, he's about to. It may be that he's about to kill a lion. So boom, yeah, that's a hit, and then boom. Oh, that's another hit. So he got 2 hits. 8 plus 5, so that's 10. Those arrows just go winging past you. Oh, come on! All right, hold on. Let me check this real quick. All right. Okay. Yeah, it hit him, but it did, and it hurt him. Both arrows go wicking into him, but they do minimum damage. And he actually is going to sidestep a little bit over here to get behind Llama, and he'll say to you, Llama, be careful. I'm going to finish off that lion before it does any more damage. And he sort of comes down this way. He's actually kind of coming around behind you. He doesn't want to get in your way. It's a very martial maneuver that you recognize it very I do the same
thing. Once he gets one, I don't want to get in the way.
Yeah, he's basically getting out of your way, but he's also getting in a position where he can shoot again. All right, this old dude with one eye on John Heil pushes Wage out of the way, reaches up, and tries to pull the chest out from under Bjorn and knock him over. It's essentially going to be a combat trip maneuver with the added bonus of him taking the chest.
In Greece, and he's going to get an attack of opportunity for me to do that.
All right.
Do you want to do a reflex save for the Greece because he's moving into Greece?
I will do that right now. Oops. All right, he makes the save, the Greece save.
Okay.
And the attack of opportunity that's going to hit, but just barely. So you hit him.
Okay. So
7 points of damage.
And 5 bleed.
Ooh,
5 bleed? From what? Oh, from the claws. Okay.
nice.
All right, so 12 minus 12. All right, so that hurts him hard. You see him pull back, but he's still going to go ahead and try and pull the thing out from under. It's basically a trip attack on you, Bjorn.
Okay.
And he fails. The claw attack pushes him sideways, and you can see him sort of grabbing. He has grab hold of the thing, but he failed to pull it out from under you because John Heil attacked him right at the critical moment and threw off his conversation. John, you see these other guys coming up from below. They're going to come over here. This guy is actually going to blow into you, and the other guy is going to come past you and try and help his friend grab the chest. He's going to do a bull rush on you, or try to. What is your CMD? Ooh, nat 20!
Whoa.
So 30 on bull rush. Is that enough?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so bull rush is what's your CMD?
18.
Okay, so he got 12 more than that.
It means
so
he goes back 10 feet. But
that's what I was going to say. He goes back 10 feet, I think.
But he can't. What's your name's in the way?
He can't because of the horse.
Well, he'll push you alongside her, I guess. Where is my thing here? Okay. Did I? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so he's going to push you. He's basically going to push you behind her, kind of, like right here. My Chrome's not responding very well right now. All right, so he is there. I'll move him just a minute as soon as Chrome gets off his ass and figures out what it wants to do. Here we go. Stop it. All right, so he's going to push you back towards Beltran. To like there. And he's going to follow you in. Sort of like right to there. All right, so they're grabbing that. Everybody's going for the chest. It's Sabas's turn. Sabas is going to, at this point, jump up. And you hear Wage yell to the archers, "Get him!" And you see the one archer who's closest sort of like reach out and try and grab him. He's going to make a grab attempt, and it's a 19. That might be something right there. Hold on, let me check his CMD. Jesters aren't widely known for their combat ability. So, he just missed it by one. So you see this guy sort of reach out to grab Saba, but he
You
did
add all
not.
the and prayers and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a +4 to hit.
Well, does that go to CMB?
Yep.
Because he's not
Yes.
hitting him, he's grabbing him.
It's
Grappling
like
him.
that,
+4 for everything.
Plus 4 for everything. All right, he's got him. So these two guys are grappled. So the guy just grabs him and he's like, good. So I'm just going to go right around these. These two guys are grappled. So he grabs him, and so Sabas is now going to try and break that grapple with his own anti-grapple. And I think that might be enough. So he goes against the other guy's CMD, right? Oh, it's not enough. So he remains grappled, so he can't do shit. Fiat.
Okay. What is this guy doing?
Well, he's looking over at, he's sort of looking between you, he's holding his back where you stabbed him, but he's kind of like looking over at his guys, and he's more concentrating on his lion, who just got hit by a couple of arrows, and he's really displeased about that. And the fact that his other lion is already dead. So he's not really paying a ton of attention to you.
I'm going to stab him.
You're going to stab him again?
Oh, yeah.
Give it a shot, bud.
All right, let's see. I roll a D20.
Yep. Plus your +4, which is your attack bonus.
Gotcha.
+4 for the spells.
Oh, okay. So +4 is 8. 23. That's another hit. You get him again through the same hole in the wall.
All right, cool. So I roll a D4.
D4 +1.
Okay.
+5 actually.
4.
So
8.
So that would be 8 points of damage, I think.
Boom.
Boom.
He's like, "Ow! Cut it out, you little jerk! I heard about the poem." All right, Centaur's turn. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm going to yell over my shoulder as a free action. I got to take a minute off this lion, friend, because these thieving, heartless lion hearts are going after the treasure, the chest. I'm just
Okay.
I'm letting him know I'm not hitting the lion on the next round.
Well, he already told you last round he was going to finish the lion, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
he might not get the opportunity because his friend, the archer that Fiat pissed off, just comes rolling up, whirling this hammer around, and she brings it down. Well, she doesn't bring it down on the lion. She brings it down on the lion tamer, and does an attack on him. She gets a ton of bonuses too, right? From you guys.
Yeah, +4 to hit, +3 to damage.
Okay. Oh, 30 to hit. That is going to be significant. So she gets. Whoop, no. So it's a big whirling hammer that she just brings down on top of this guy's for 8 points of damage. But she gets
11.
bonuses, right? So 12 points of damage. And he goes flying backwards up against the. She hits him sort of in the side. He goes, Fiat, you jump back because he hits the wall right in front of you. He was moving away from you after you stabbed him, but that hit just knocked him back. This one rears back. She's got the spear in one hand, and you see her looking over at Sabas held by that guy, and you see her do something kind of strange. She, basically, she's going to, she casts lightning bolt at him. So you see that whole, oh shit, no she doesn't, because she might hit you. She would hit you. She's not going to do that. She takes her spear and she throws it at Sabas. She throws it past everybody into Sabas. She's going to try and do that. So let me check. She's not going to throw that lightning bolt. +7. All right, she's going to do that. So +11. And she misses. The spear goes flying past Sabas and off into the distance over there. So she does. She misses that. Lama, you're up.
What about the male centaur? Did he do his thing?
It was his turn's earlier in the round.
Okay. Llama is going to move up to. If I go by this guy, am I going to draw an attack of opportunity even though he's focused on John Heil?
Yes.
So I have to go. If I go down here, I'm going to draw an attack of opportunity from this guy, right?
Yep.
Oh, hell. Then I'm just going to stay where I'm at, take a 5-foot step, and thank you. Take a full attack on this guy right here.
The one that's attacking John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
You would get flanking on that as well.
So that would be 38.
Ooh, that will hit.
And 33.
Also a hit.
And then
18, 39 plus.
That's got my pluses in it.
Okay, 39. What kind of weapon do you use?
That's with my bastard sword.
Bastard sword. You step forward, you wheel around, and you take that guy right in the back of the neck, almost completely severing his head as he's pushing John Heil. John, you're getting pushed by this guy, and you're like, cut it out. And then you see his head just sort of like flop forward with his chin touching his chest and blood just squirting out of the hole in his neck. He sort of staggers around for a bit and falls at your feet. And then you see Lama behind him, and she's got sort of blood on her, and she's like, she has killed him.
I got your back, John.
All right, so now this guy is running off this way, taking off away from his dudes. This guy sees what's happening. He's going to take off too. He's going to try and... so when they leave the grease, do they have to make a second save? I'm assuming yes, if they made their first save.
I don't know. I got to look.
Yeah, I think
You have to make a save every round they're inside.
Yeah, in order to move in Greece, you have to make a save.
All right, so that one guy's going to try and make a save again, which you said it was a 16? DC 16?
Yeah, does the prayer change that? Does prayer affect?
Well, he gets a -1.
He gets a -1, but that's it.
All right, so still 16, still gets out. So he's going to step to here. He's going to grab his buddy and drag him out. So he's only going to make it a couple of more feet, but he's going to drag his prone friend out, his bloody head wound, bloody head wound. And these guys this guy takes off too. So these guys are the gate guys are headed for the door, and that's it for them. And now we are at the top of the order, but it is after 11 o'clock, and I have to fly to LA in the morning, so we're going to stop here, and we will resume this next time.
Good night, all.
Have a safe flight, buddy.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I will talk with you guys soon.
Night. I'm
Night,
gonna
Thanks,
guys.
watch
everyone.
that lion, so don't kill it.
I won't.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. See ya.